we're here to review Baldurs Gate 3 today, and before I get to introductions, we gotta have a little cold open here. I asked Ace yesterday if he would do a little light reading before we got started here today, because we were on our way back from Dragon Con, which we are going to review, so stay tuned for that. We'll do that once our brains have fully recovered from the weekend of bamboozlery and tomfoolery and whatnot. But so I was like, man, everybody else on the podcast has read Mistborn. So you just go home and just knock that out tonight, so we can cold open about it tomorrow. So how was it?
Oh man, it was. I gotta be honest. It wasn't what I was expecting, but at the same time, I really felt that like it also somehow lived up to expectations, right? So like it. In certain ways, it really delivered. In other ways, it just really surprised me. And there were a few twists and turns there with certain characters that I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think maybe I have to read some of the following novels to really understand more if I like certain decisions that were made. Mm-hmm. But like the setting and the world building that was in place here, and just the sprawling narrative really drew me in.
So, a question real quick. Not to cut you off. Who's your favorite character by name?
So that's so hard for me, right? Just because there were so many
It's okay, you can do top 3.
There were so many that I identified with.
You know what, we'll give you top 5.
Yeah.
In fact, we'll ask who's your favorite member, full member set of a crew that's in the book. There's a few of them.
Oh man, so actually, I plan on doing like a full review of it. You know what I mean? So I just
gotta wait for that.
Yeah,
okay, that's fair. Yeah. Mm-hmm, sure.
Just so you all know, this man is so good at this now. Not only could he have just bullshitted his way through the answer, like he could probably bullshit his way through the whole podcast, but like most of that shit was accurate up until we asked him to name specific people.
Oh yeah, it's because I feel like I've known you long enough now to know a little bit of your because when you first started, I was like, did he really?
No, the level of bullshit that Ace is capable of is astounding.
It is. It's incredible.
I respect your craft, sir.
Like, thank you.
A yesteryear flashback I had when you were running your mouth just then was when I was doing my unreality show, and you traveled with me, and I recorded all of it, and he went on this tirade for a good 10 minutes of how he is, we started this journey with hope, and it ended up like him wanting to drive us off a cliff.
So your trip was like 5 minutes?
We also he has his homie tag, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because some introductions are in order here. So this is motherfucking podcast assemble. And I think this might be your first time on that, but yes. We have the homie Dylan joining us today.
Hi, I don't actually have a podcast.
Yeah, he doesn't have a podcast, but he's
You'll get there.
So it's okay. And then we also have from Superhero Homies Podcast, we have the homie Ace.
Yes. Always good to be back.
We're in your studio, though.
It's always good to be here, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really nice studio.
I'm really enjoying showing it off on camera because we waited a really long time to do that.
Wait, is this the first time it's on camera?
No.
Second?
I think second.
It's supposed to be the third, but we reviewed The Shield second half, and I forgot to press the record button on the camera over there, and so the audio is out there, but the video is lost to the nether because it never existed.
So apparently that's important.
It needs to have the little red dot, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I had him flip the viewfinder around. So, also from the Tavern Notice Board, we have Oz.
Woo woo! It's actually pretty awesome that we're talking about one of the best games ever made, and it's based off of the game that I love and have a podcast for. So
yeah, it's fantastic.
I didn't know you had a Starfield campaign going.
Shut your fucking mouth. We're not talking about Starfield.
Oh my god! And I am, of course, James Caleb Kitchens from Entertainment Involved, and I am here doing the thing. So, we're going to be talking about Baldurs Gate 3 today. I don't know that no one here has beat it, right?
Oh, I did.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
But we all have. I have about 200 hours. I know you have a bunch.
Yeah, I want to say I'm at 170.
What you know about where you're...
Yeah, I only got one campaign, but yeah, my shit is at right at 100.
Gotcha.
15?
No, about 15, yeah.
15 hours?
So,
no, 15 hours.
So we have a wide variety here of experiences, and the good thing about that is I know about probably 15 people that are playing this game, and none of us, like, we sit down and share stories about it.
All different.
And they're all completely different. It's like we played different games to an extent. And so it really can't be overstated just like how much, like, how far your, like, decision making can kind of, it can basically, like, butterfly affect your whole playthrough. So we're not going to do any heavy spoilers for anything past Act 1 today. So, if you're like us and you're not completely done with the game, then don't worry about it. But we have enough, I think, experience in all 3 acts to talk intelligently about all of them and give the game a score. I don't think with this game, I think even if the ending was like a KOTOR 2 level shitfest where it just gives you a text scroll of what happened, I still don't think that would affect my score any.
Why would you even bring that up? Like, no.
Well, I mean, I needed an example of a great game with a bad ending.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Would you rather I talk about Mass Effect 3?
Yeah.
No, we're going to keep talking about Baldur's Gate 3.
That is applicable, huh?
Yeah. And thank you, BioWare, for realizing your mistakes with Mass Effect 3 and just not making Baldur's Gate 3 and letting Larian do it instead.
Agreed.
We
Yeah.
appreciate it greatly. Yeah, because can you guys imagine if BioWare had made this game?
So if you asked me that question
Can I not?
12 years ago, I'd be like,
Like, yeah, of course they're going to make it.
Dope. Yeah.
Who else will make it? Of course
Right.
it's them.
But today, it had to be Larian.
Yeah. The game would be like 20 hours, linear.
Yeah, if they made it today, or there maybe, hell, there might even be weapons or even a class sitting behind paywalls. There'd be a weird tacked on multiplayer instead of like a full-fledged multiplayer.
Which, I will say this, multiplayer in fucking Baldur's Gate 3 has it completely changed how this game feels. Like, I love the game solo, period. It's amazing. But we have Caleb and I are playing in a multiplayer game with my wife and my partner Don, and the shenanigans that we get up to as a party is absolutely fucking ridiculous in comparison. It feels like a real D&D game.
It really does. It feels like a D&D game. And the 4 of us actually played the early access together.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
We had like a one night just kind of go hard, your first time playing the game.
Right.
Super fun.
Yeah, and it was tremendous. And, it's just, it does really, when you have 4 people playing, it does really start to feel like, it's its own kind of D&D campaign entity. And then when you're playing solo, it kind of flips the script, and you absolutely feel like you're the main character.
Oh, yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
That's true.
So.
Yeah, and that's something that you guys have a whole lot more experience with than I do, because I haven't played a whole lot of multiplayer outside of the one time that the 4 of us played. But even that, like, I could feel a difference. And I'm not saying that it's good or bad. It's just different, playing solo versus multiplayer.
It is very different because when you're playing solo, you are the kind of master of what's going to happen.
Right.
You may not know what the outcome is going to be, but you're making all the decisions, whereas when you're playing with a group of people, you can vote on how you want them to respond to something. I think I know exactly what he's LOLing about right now.
Did you just say LOLing?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. You got a problem with it?
I think he does.
yeah.
Whatever.
Just a little bit.
Your response really has me LOLing over here, though.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost got me, I can't, ROTFLing. Rafflecoptering.
That one I had never heard anybody like verbally say.
Never heard anybody say rafflecopter?
Not the acronym
RTFL?
of it. Yeah.
What's that song?
We didn't start the flame war.
Yeah, we just heard the flame war. Yeah,
Lovely.
They say it in that.
Yeah, they say rafflecopter though. They don't.
No, they say RTFL, and there is a rafflecopter in the animation.
Maybe my brain just fixed it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Baldur's Gate, though.
Yeah,
Right?
Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what we do here.
Yep.
We
Get sidetracked and then somebody pulls you back.
we get sidetracked. Do we want to do a section of just no spoilers at all, or is that not possible? I feel like it may
I
just
don't
not
think
be.
it's possible on this one. I'm going to be honest.
That's so difficult, and in a weird way, it's also a little difficult to spoil things because, like, I could say something that's so spoilery, and then no one else at the table have that same experience.
Yeah, Oz has. I mean, we're not gonna say what it is, but Oz has something like that where he's like, "Guys, this was super hard," and we're like,
what?
What? Like,
I was like, y'all for real? Y'all didn't even fuck with this shit?
Yeah, we haven't run into it at all.
Yeah. I had an instance like that with one of my two roommates where I was like, yeah, no, I saw this thing, and the other roommate was like, and the third roommate was like, what?
You said what? Huh?
Well, one thing that all of us here are uniquely qualified to talk about, and that we can talk about this that's not spoilery, is we can talk about how accurate this thing is to actual 5th edition D&D.
Oh, dude, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And Oz, you're probably the most familiar with the rule set here out of everyone.
Okay.
I would say that.
What would you? So we'll start with you, and like, so how do you feel about like how they've adapted the rule set? What they've, some of the things that they've changed that that you may agree with or not, or some of the things that they maybe surprised you with how faithfully they adapted.
Well, so when I played early access, I was immediately just enthralled with it because it was like so close on how well they put it together. Like all the spell names are the same. You didn't get every spell, but you got the most of them, the majority of them from the player's handbook, which is amazing. You get most of the races, which is phenomenal. Classes, same thing. And just seeing that adaptation really did, and see how well they did it. Like, I was surprised the most how little they actually changed. Like, I think the only major thing that I can think of, well, there's two things that stand out the most, which is shoving as a bonus action, which is probably one of the most fun things to do in combat.
Oh, agreed.
Just shove a motherfucker, especially if they're next to a ledge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeet!
There's a reason I have the feet on my character in our 5th edition campaign.
And then being able to throw healing potions.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That just blew my mind. I was like,
yeah, I didn't know you could do that until you brought it up.
That's actually a holdover from Divinity.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, like, see, and then again,
because
because certain things can translate over better in a video game than they can in a tabletop role-playing game. Because, like, honestly, feasible, the way the magic works in D&D is that you have to ingest it to make it fully heal you. Mm-hmm. This is a video game. They also have that help action that can get you back up to 1 hit point. So they're just trying to keep you alive in the video game because of how much they throw at you.
Yeah.
In D&D, that's not the case. So I'm not saying it's a bad change. I'm just saying that is one of the major differences I noticed. Let's see.
And that's interesting, too, because you can throw a healing potion, which takes an action. You can drink a healing potion, which is a bonus action. Mm-hmm. However, you also can drop a healing potion on the ground, which is a free action. So if you take a healing potion and you put it on the ground between 2 characters and you shoot it, it will heal them both.
Oh.
Actually, I've seen it done up to 3 people.
Yeah, you can,
Do they all get the, like...
Yeah, the full health, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you also can do that with other types of potions.
Yep.
Like potions of speed.
I was going to say, there's no way you can do that.
Yeah, potions of speed.
Wow.
Potions of flying. All that. Yeah, you can do that.
Just leave me over here for a second. I'm gonna.
So you're gonna start letting us do that at the table, right?
Not even close.
No, but the thing is, like, you have to for D&D, it has to get into your system, right?
Yeah.
Well, the glass explodes and cuts you, and it gets in your system. It's fine.
Oh,
Right,
yeah, there
yeah.
you go. That makes sense to me.
No. You know what? I'll give it to you for 1 round.
No, hold on. Here's the thing. You let it happen, so that you let it happen.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, see?
I mean, I'll only do it if he's gonna do it, and he's not gonna. So.
I'm not going to do it.
It's in your core, though. It would help you so much more on the other table.
I don't want.
You just
I
don't
don't
think
want
about
that
the first
level
one.
of chaos. I don't want it.
Chaos is a ladder.
Chaos is a ladder. You can just go down a couple steps.
I mean, you had Dalos on one of your campaigns. How much worse can it get?
That's true.
Don't think about that too hard.
By the way, shout out to the homie Kevin because he just got Baldurs Gate last night.
Did he?
Have
Hell
you heard
yeah.
from him since?
Probably
No,
not.
I have not heard
Me
a
neither.
single...
More than likely, he's like balls deep in some Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, he was remotely installing it on his system from the con.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
And
got the early
I haven't
access.
got a made it home. None of that.
Nothing, yeah. I was was like, I should probably check on him, but he probably won't even see his phone. So
I respect it.
So, but you were talking about the rules adaptations.
Yeah. Those are the major things that I noticed.
Ranger not sucking.
Well, also, like, I've definitely noticed that in a video game format, a lot of things are a little more applicable.
Is that, I thought applicable was right.
Is that right? Applicable, whatever.
I think it
Anyway,
might be that one.
You could say it either way.
Yeah.
Words are hard.
Those they just seem to apply better in video game form than they do in like D&D. Like Shillelagh for one. Like while Shillelagh is a pretty useful cantrip in D&D, it seems to be far more useful in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
I haven't used that yet.
I haven't used it either.
Yeah.
Is the upgraded version actually in 5e?
I'm honestly not sure.
Because like in I'm maining a druid, by the way. That might be helpful in a minute for us to
Go over who we are.
thank you. Fucking Christ.
Words are hard.
I don't know why we chose today to do this. Whoever arranged that was a terrible idea. Oh yeah. That's right. Well, we were gonna play.
Yeah, we were gonna play today,
And then we decided to
That's
do
right,
this
yeah,
instead.
yeah.
Yeah.
We could have just done both. We could have just recorded the session and talked about Baldur's Gate while we play D&D because that's what we do now anyway. But I'm playing a druid, and you get to a point where you can summon a like dryad, like a woodland creature.
Yeah.
And it has a improved shillelagh that is nuts that you can do, that it can cast. And it's like a little druid you can summon, and it has like spike growth, and it's pretty busted, man. I'm really having a good time with that. But
And you said it's a dryad?
yeah,
I don't remember that being in their stat block, so.
yeah,
I mean, honestly, like I will say that they definitely took the core rulebook, they tweaked it to fit the game.
Oh, that wasn't like a negative. I was just saying,
Yeah.
like, I don't think the improved is a thing in 5e.
well, it's like summon woodland creature,
Yeah.
Okay.
and that is a spell. But
Yeah, that is.
in D&D you have a list. Whereas in Baldur's Gate, I think it's just that one creature.
One thing. And it's just kind of like find familiar. Like in D&D, you can basically pick anything with as long as it's a small beast. But with this, you actually have it's going to be incredibly hard to try to put so many tiny little creatures.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Also, the frog familiar is awful.
it is very fucking creepy. I will admit that.
I almost summoned it, but I got scared.
It's so weird. It has like
'Cause I haven't seen it still
it
yet.
has long legs. Like imagine my arms are like twice as long as they really are, and it doesn't hop. It fucking walks.
Yeah, it doesn't hop. It crawls its little ass around.
That's
That's like something you see in what's the name of that Reddit place, the back rooms.
What was the aborted fetus demon from Witcher?
Oh yeah,
Shit.
Botchling.
Botchling.
It's kind of like that.
yeah. It's cursed.
I haven't seen either of those.
Yeah, play
yeah.
Witcher 3.
You
Not-
should
not
totally
enough.
play Witcher 3. It's so good.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
there's-
have enough time to play Baldur's Gate 3.
I'm aware.
Yeah, there's this whole thing where there's like it's like a medieval abortion, and like somebody like cursed the fetus or like brought it back to life.
Well, no.
or
So
something.
like the whole premise behind
Easier
it
to
was
explain
is that whenever a miscarriage happens, if you do not bury it properly and just kind of toss it to the side like they did, it becomes cursed and becomes a botchling.
Yeah, fun times.
Yeah.
And it's nasty.
It's a pretty gross fucking thing.
It is.
Like it was probably one of the most disturbing things I'd ever seen in a video game ever.
Oh yeah. It was fucked.
It was worse than when you actually fight the legitimate aborted fetus in is it Stick of Truth or is it Fractured Butthole?
I think it's Fractured Butthole. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the game is called Fractured, Butthole.
I don't think I want to know.
It's not called Fractured Butthole.
You know what? That's
he
my
just spoke
mistake.
it real quick.
Yeah, I just said it really
You
good.
said it really fast.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
There's no way people would think that a game would be named Fractured Butthole. That
No,
isn't
never.
yeah.
So, oh my god, yeah.
But speaking of
I love it. We're here.
speaking of Fractured Butthole, speaking of things that are different, I think maybe one of the more noticeable things as well is advantage on attacks.
Oh
So
yeah.
like flanking and whatnot.
Well, flanking is an optional rule in 5e. You don't
It
have
is,
to
yeah,
play
sure.
with it. We just do.
Like most people play with flanking, and I definitely agree that flanking, honestly, especially as you brought him up before, Dallos, utilized flanking quite often, and that is deadly.
Quite often or every time?
Every time, pretty much. So that is a very insane mechanic when you have a guy who's built around flanking stuff.
Yeah.
So I could see why they didn't want to put it in the game this time, because like giving them advantage for flanking, that is literally every fight for me. Like I've got people swarming one enemy because that swarm tactics is a thing. Oh, God forbid you fight a bunch of spiders that surround your ass.
That would never happen, though.
Fucked.
That would never happen.
I mean, but the game, and this is like with most Larian games, right? So like, the game doesn't really hold your hand. It's not like, Dark Souls level difficulty.
No.
But, it's not going to take it easy on you either, per se.
Yeah, you're right.
And it really relies on you understanding what your characters are capable of and your use of creativity, a la D&D, to really kind of make these attack moments, simpler for you or for your teammates.
Yeah. Divinity is, I think, at least in the early game, Divinity is harder. And I think it's almost like that Witcher 2 scale that we've talked about a few times. Where like in the very beginning of Witcher 2, anything can fucking kill the shit out of you.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh, this is a little weak, little level 1 enemy, whatever. And then you're dead. Like, if you're not prepared to fight that thing, you're going to die. And, Divinity 2 is kind of like that, where at the very beginning, if you don't, do the fights in the right order, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Whereas in Baldur's Gate, I think in Act 1, I'd say for most of Act 1, it kind of does not necessarily hold your hand, but it doesn't give you anything that you really have to, maybe other than maybe one or two major fights, the one I'm thinking about, you don't really have to scratch your head too hard. It's like, I know my characters, I know their abilities, I know their synergies, I can do the fight. And then it gets harder and harder and harder. Whereas Divinity, I felt like was the opposite, where it starts out really difficult, and as you get more powerful, by the time you get to Act 3, it's just like, all right, well, are you trying to kill my? Oh, well, you did.
Yeah.
You trying to kill my party? Oh, well.
I will say that I'm playing in I'm actually playing like 3 different games. But I'm playing with Jasmine on her file, and she's playing on Explorer mode because she's never played D&D. She's never played an RPG like this. So we're also, I have no issues playing on easy mode, but going from balance mode to easy mode is walking apart. I'm over here like, okay, you're just a nuisance now. Just get away.
So what I'm hearing is that when you play your next single player, you're gonna bump it up to tactician.
No, balance is enough for me. Balance is enough.
That's what I heard.
It's gonna take some, it's a matter of pride for me, because I've mentioned to you guys before, like Kevin and I, we platinum Divinity 1 and 2, which means not only beating it on tactician mode, but beating it on honor mode, which is tactician mode, but you can't die or your game is wiped.
Yeah.
Granted, we cheat the hell out of that. All you gotta do is upload your save file to the cloud, and then if you die, you just grab it from the cloud and bring it back.
Yeah.
That's
Look,
the
I've
point.
played XCOM. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I beat XCOM 1. I tried to beat it on hardcore Iron Man.
Oh.
I had to bump it down about 2 to normal.
XCOM is not messing around.
That's the game where you have 95% chance to hit, and I missed. How did that happen?
Damn.
So
Consistently. That's not like it happened. No, that happens a lot.
Yeah, it really does.
But I think we should real quick before we all forget to say like our the main character or multiple characters that we actually set up for this one. So that
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you maining in your single player?
I'm a necromancer drow. I did not mean to make.
Sure, you didn't.
Sure.
My Sunday legitimately did not mean to make.
He literally made his character from our campaign.
I'm not kidding. I'm looking right at you. I'm not kidding. I did not think it through like that. I was just like, oh, cool. This looks cool. That already had drow picked up, so I was like, all right, cool. I'll click this one. Wizards. I like wizards.
Well, you can't make shade. So he played.
That's true. Yeah.
He played an artificer in our last.
That's true.
And I guess I can't technically make Eru my vampire bunny girl.
You can make Faintfoot though.
I could make Faintfoot.
Yeah.
Well, not. Well, I mean, he can get close.
You can get close. They don't have the subclass,
Yeah,
right?
they
Yeah,
have the
but-
Drunken Fist. Yeah.
Well, he also doesn't have
The
Emerald
subclass or subrace.
Oh, right.
Subspecies?
He's not. Yeah, because they only have the main
base colors. Yeah.
No Fizzbins.
Yeah. So not yet. We actually today somebody came out with a freaking mod, and like the mod is 1.0. Like the mod is done. And it adds 54 fucking races to the game.
Yeah, once I beat it, I'm gonna.
Oh yeah,
restart.
I'm definitely gonna go check that out.
Yeah, and I think they've updated a lot of the races to the Monsters of the Multiverse versions and all that. Yeah, and so like they have like the current elf. Some of them are actually based on the 1D&D stuff that they're about to come out with.
Oh, nice.
So they've like modernized a bunch of the races and stuff. So it's interesting what the modders are already doing.
I'm not shocked.
It's only been out a month.
All right.
I was disappointed that they don't have Hexblade. I understand why they don't have it. They said they were going to get the entire player's handbook. And for the most part, they really kept to that. And they actually got even some stuff that's not in the player's handbook.
Right. Yeah.
So kudos to them on that. So I couldn't do Hexblade. I couldn't do Order of the Scribes Wizard.
Yeah.
Which it feels hard to bitch about that because it's like they got all the base wizards.
Right. Yeah. Like.
Yeah. For me to be like, you guys really need this one subclass. But I can make a Vengeance Paladin though.
You can make your Vengeance Paladin.
And so I am playing a Vengeance Paladin in one game. I'm playing a bard in another game, but the main character that I'm playing is a elf druid in my single player.
Well, that's awesome. I am playing. So in one game with Jazz, I'm playing a Tiefling War Cleric. That's interesting. We're only like level 3, so I haven't got really to dive into it yet to see how it plays out. But it's fun so far.
Out of curiosity, what's Jasmine playing?
She is playing a high elf or wood elf druid. I can't remember exactly which type.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mention I'm doing Circle of the Moon.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
What type of elf were you? You just said elf.
I probably went Woodland. I don't really remember. To be honest.
But with the FAM campaign, I'm playing a Bronze Dragonborn Eldritch Knight Fighter, and it's fun as fuck. Like, it's actually making me want to play an Eldritch Knight in D&D. Like, I'm pretty hyped for this.
I don't remember what race I am in that.
You're a drow.
Oh, I am a drow. Yeah, because I actually I tried to make her as close to Chrysala as possible.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, so
But in that campaign, I am the big dumb one, so I just chunk shit.
yeah.
Mainly goblins.
And everyone else just dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I barely get hit. Like,
Really?
Yeah, he's the fighter. The enemies ignore him, and they come right over to us and beat the bejesus.
Mostly him. Like, it'll never fucking fail. He starts playing that damn lute, and everybody's just.
Oh, so you're a bard in that campaign?
I'm a bard in that
Okay,
game,
yeah.
and so I'm a drow bard with purple hair and the drip, and I take all my actions, and then I play a little tune, and the enemies hate that shit.
Yeah.
I will say that in that campaign, we all took those specialty dyes that you get at the beginning, and we all made our clothes the same color. So
we all match.
We all match. We have a picture on Facebook. It's pretty dope. My Dragonborn is definitely Beef Daddy. Like,
I still don't know how I guessed all those right.
You did. I sent him the photo, and he's like, "You're this person. You're this person." He got them all.
hell yeah. But my main character, the one I'm the furthest with, and my solo character, he's a sorcerer. I basically made my character from Caleb's game, Corandon, as close as I could get him. I couldn't be a divine soul sorcerer, which, sad face, but I think I went Draconic Bloodline with the silver Dragonborn, so I'd have the silver sheen to my skin. Yeah. And, oh, dude, I fucking love him. Like, this is such a good game. Oh.
Yeah. Right now, my one and only character, he is he's level 12. Whoop, whoop. But he's
Nice.
Yeah, he is. I believe he's 6 levels in bard and 6 levels in warlock.
Oh, so you multied.
Yeah.
Ooh. Nice.
And it has been a lot of fun. And again, hopping into the game when I did, I wasn't really sure about like the specs of the game or how it worked. But I mean, Bard or really Sorcerer or Warlock or Paladin. A lot of fun, I'd imagine, for a single playthrough, just because like they were really good as like the face characters, or like you got someone who is high charisma, so they can go in there and just kind of bullshit their way through conversations that maybe they shouldn't be able to. But yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I hear Bardlock's good. Someone told me that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think they're wrong.
Yeah, it's College of Lore, Bard, and Pac-Fiend.
Okay.
Warlock.
Oh, so you went back as a fiend, huh? Yep. All right.
I noticed that they didn't put eloquence in there.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah, I was like, oh, the game doesn't want a minimum 27 on fucking persuasion checks. Okay.
Yeah, no, fuck that shit.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, I can't imagine that either.
Just oversight.
One thing about Druid, I'm Circle of the Moon, so I use a lot of wild shaping, which is bust in this game. Because it's like, you can cast something with like a high concentration, or like with a concentration check, like Spike Growth or whatever. I've cheesed so many things with Spike Growth. And then you transform into like a fucking owlbear, which has a much higher constitution than I do. And then you can just proceed to parade around the map and wreck shit and get attacked and make all those saves. But one thing that I ran into that is a bug, and I'm hoping that is something that maybe they fixed it in the newest patch. I haven't played because that came out while we were at the con. But if you're in a combat situation where, like, when the combat ends, you immediately go into a dialogue, if you are wild-shaped, it will just randomly pick another party member to initiate that dialogue.
Oh.
And that has fucked me, and I had to go back a couple times.
Yeah.
Because, like, I want my character to be making the choices,
right?
Not Astarion. Like
that does seem to happen a lot with me too. Like combat immediately ends, and then choose Astarion for whatever fucking reason, and I'm like, what?
I've only noticed it if I'm wild shaped.
Oh, like
I can't talk.
It does it for me more often than I'd like it to.
I mean, so I'll go ahead and say this, right? Clearly and obviously, there's way more good than nitpicky things in this game.
Oh yeah,
but there are a few, and some of them are really just quality of life issues. Like so let's say that like I have a piece of equipment on a party member who's no longer in my group, and I want to take it off of them and maybe put on someone else. I have to go back to camp and get that person,
and then take it from them.
Yeah. Kick them out of the party again. Go get the other person, and then
because I kind of feel bad afterwards. It's like,
all right,
it's like, hey, you should join me. It's like, fuck yeah, let's do this. And then I'm taking their stuff. It's like, it's time for you to go back to camp. It's like, really? I'm like, oh.
Yeah, all of them take a lot of things very personally.
They do.
We got to talk about the companions later.
See, that's why I just rob them before I get them out. I'm just like, by the way, hand me that, and your shoes too. Give me them. All right, I head back to camp.
In terms of inventory management, though, it's worlds better than Divinity 2 was.
Yeah.
That screen where you can open up the whole party's inventory.
Yeah,
that's
lovely.
nice.
My God, I wish we had that in Divinity.
That is nice.
And again, this is, I don't know if it's a bug or if it's just whatever. But there's sometimes where like my character will have something in their inventory that I want to put on somebody else, and I go to put it on there, and it doesn't do it immediately. You have to do it twice, and I'm like,
haven't had that one.
Well, so
it's annoying.
Has anyone else encountered the issue where let's say that you're on one of your characters' inventory screens, and you just have one pulled up, right? And so you click like say the weapon box, and all the available weapons pop up, and then you switch to another character, and you
it's still open.
And you try to do the same. Well, with me, I try to do it in the box one open, and so I have to close the inventory tab altogether and reopen it just to go back into that.
Yeah, that's definitely a bug I've seen once or twice.
The main bug I've bumped into, and it's only really been like one, was items that give you a spell when you equip it, not giving you the spell.
I have not actually seen that.
The one in particular that I just bumped into today was the amulet that lets you speak with dead. I put it on my warlock, nothing. Couldn't find it anywhere in my stuff. I had to take it off,
re-equip it,
equip it to somebody else.
Oh.
I had to put it on Shadowheart. Saw that it popped up on their bar, put it back on my person, equip it, and then it popped up. Like, I checked the spell book and everything. It was not there.
Weird. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
So, interesting. Yeah, there's, I mean, in a game this size, you know, you're gonna have little
Yeah,
things
like that wasn't
for
really
sure.
a problem. I was just like, I was scratching my head real hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't come anything that was like game breaking or you know.
No.
I haven't had any crashes, like hard crashes due to bugs or anything like that.
I did before I updated my drivers.
Oh. Well, I said due to bugs.
Yeah, that's what we call a PEPCAC issue in the IT field. Problem exists between keyboard and chair.
Oh, I'm gonna have to remember that one. Especially since I want to get in the field. So.
Yeah. So, Baldur's Gate is very feisty about having your drivers updated.
They are. Like
They are. Oh, yeah.
They're real uppity about it.
They're like, oh,
Which
you
is
want to
fair.
play Baldur's Gate?
Yeah.
But we noticed you haven't updated your drivers.
You better do that.
You should do that
In
right
the,
now.
in the early access, like it actually required you to do it.
Yeah.
In the main game, I think you can be like, no, I don't want to. And then it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna run like shit though.
Oh yeah, like that's how I really figured it out. Like I needed to really do it because like I'm just walking through the lower city and like it's like like super jumpy and I'm like yeah shit okay I'm gonna go reload this now and get this driver.
I think the performance is something we could definitely talk about. As someone who has played it on a variety of systems, I think that this game is pretty well optimized on PC. I think the first two acts especially, I've seen those running on a wide variety of hardware with like no problems really. Like especially like Act 1, as beautiful as this game is, I'm just like, wow, this runs really well, you know, like on my gaming laptop, which is older. Act 3, on the other hand, I have not played since the second patch came out, and I heard that was supposed to smooth that out a good bit. But when you get to Act 3, it's the size and complexity of the city. The game takes a huge performance hit because all of a sudden it's now, you know, this isn't the Druid Grove where there's like 30 NPCs in there and they're on their little routines and they have their little dialogues or whatever. Now it's like 400 NPCs.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's all these buildings.
That's lowballing it, buddy. But
It's such a dense, massive city with so much going on. And
My poor laptop.
yeah, my laptop struggles with it hard. My desktop even, I had to turn a few things down because like my desktop's pretty beefy. I was running
Isn't yours stronger than mine?
My desktop?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I have a 3080. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
running
where
it
yours is up.
4K, max settings, everything cranked all the way up. When I got to Act 3, it was like, we're going to turn some things down. Just
Because I'm only on a 3060, so I'll have to probably bump those same things down.
Are you playing at 1080? Or are you playing
Don't
1440?
remember. I don't play it as much on my PC, like my tower. So
If you're at 1080, you'd be fine. And I think that's why all our laptops are mostly okay, is because they're 1080p screens. And so.
Mine's actually, I think of.
Oh, you got a 1440?
Yeah.
On your laptop? Very nice.
I think so. I think
That's fancy. You're going to turn some shit down too.
Yeah, for sure. when it's not plugged into the power supply, it gets a little stuttery, and then I was like, oh yeah, let me just.
Oh yeah, that happens to Kay and I all the time.
they're like, oh, we didn't plug up our laptop. That makes sense. Why it's not
I don't dare play that game without having my laptop plugged.
my laptop stays plugged up 24/7 with this.
First
game,
of all,
like,
it's just
period.
like the
Oh, okay,
battery
you had it with
life.
this game. I started to tense up. That's don't everybody don't leave your laptops just constantly plugged in, please.
yeah.
Oh, you mean like if you're not using it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
no.
even whenever you're like on it always. Like if you're for this, yeah, sure, by all means. But
Right, yeah.
There are some people who like the second they get on it always, it's plugged in. Super bad for your battery.
Just off of your battery. Unless, and yours may actually have this, so there are some modern ones where they will cut the charge when
Oh,
it
that's
is
nice.
full. And yours actually probably does have that because you got the fancy new.
Yeah, that new. Yeah,
Mine's like a budget to maybe mid, so it probably does not have that.
His is probably like a high mid range.
Yeah.
That I believe. I've
His
seen them
is like
specs.
you don't want to spend $3,000, but you want a nice laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just I told you to send me some recommendations. You did, and I was like, this one will do. And yeah,
That's usually what I do as well.
yeah.
Like, hey Caleb, what's a good laptop? He's like, yeah, this one. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna
Gotcha.
go buy it.
That's pretty much what happened. Yeah.
Am I the only person who doesn't ask you for?
Well, you asked me about the 3060, I think, when you got it.
Oh, this. I think I just showed you and was like, hey, this is a good deal, right? I just wanted to put second eyes on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the IT guy. Provisioner, IT guy, driver. Yeah. Those are my tags.
I'm like
It's on the chart.
lower end.
It's on the
It's on the chart.
Yeah, so you got a few skill points in that skill tree.
Yeah, I'm trying to put more in there, but it's kind of hard to get into it.
Well, you got the bard, like, jack of all trades.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, you do.
I can't even say you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm not, yeah. Yeah, like, if there's some shit that, like nobody else knows about, I'll be like, hey, Dylan. And you'd be like, no, I don't know about
Is
that,
it
but I'll
me or
figure it out.
do I feel like artificers should also get that feat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was real loud. I'm sorry.
Maybe. I don't know. It might be a little busted.
It would be very busted.
I mean, bards are busted.
Artificers are also busted. That's what I'm saying. That
would double bust.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful where you double bust.
They give them proficiency in busting.
God damn it.
like Ghostbusters.
So wait a minute. I mean, if you're saying that bards are busted just because of what they do when they make them busted rhymes.
All right, so this has been lovely.
I don't know which one
We
of
should
the
get the fuck out of here now.
No, that's not the one. There we go.
I love that you know
Part
which
of the reason why I pushed that one earlier, just to remember where it was, so I can fuck with him like that.
Yeah. Didn't Busta Rhymes die recently?
No.
Oh, he's alive?
Yeah.
Okay. My bad, Busta.
Maybe that's another Mandela.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you came from
In
the universe
this
where it did.
multiverse,
Yeah.
he's fine.
Jeez.
What were we originally talking about?
We were talking about
like certain bugs and
certain bugs
yeah.
in the game. I do love that they've avoided the Divinity 2 like inventory management simulator shit.
Yeah, that shit gets hectic.
Because literally playing Divinity 2 solo, like you need you want other people to play Divinity 2 with you, not necessarily because you want to play with them, but because you need someone to help you with all the fucking inventory management.
Yeah.
Whereas in this
He's not
game,
wrong.
it does get a little, especially later on when you got so much shit because you're like, well, I don't think I want to get rid of that. You know, and I hold on to that. Next thing you know, you got like 50 items you're carrying around.
I guess my inventory management is I just send most of it to camp and deal with it later.
Have you dealt with it yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do that with a lot of things. I've seen a variety of things. I've seen people who have never thrown away any non-common item that they've gotten. Like they have every magic item in the game. And then I've seen people who are just like, I got what I got equipped and I sell everything else. I'm like, okay.
I operate very similar to that. I mean, I don't get rid of everything, but like once I get my max shit and like none of my camp people need it, it gets sold.
There's certain things to look at though, just because you have to think. You know what I mean? Obviously, you have to think when you play Baldur's Gate in terms of D&D and what you would do, but also in terms of like being a gamer and optimizing, you know, your characters.
Fuck you and your min-maxing.
Hold on.
I
Hold on. Are you guys gamers?
I am not.
I am.
What? I'm in here with a bunch of nerds?
Ace is a gamer.
What the hell?
Oz is a gamer. He just
You look around
plays
and
the
saw.
same. Oz games a lot. It's just only a couple video games.
Yeah. And now I've got a new one that is going to be added to that list.
Yeah,
So you cycle?
Here's the problem with Baldur's Gate, and I'm so glad that he's playing it, but the thing is, he's never going to stop playing it.
Yeah.
So, like, when we've all moved, in, like, 2 years from now, when we're playing Divinity 3, or, well, it's not going to be out in 2 years.
Right.
But,
No.
you know, when we're
20.
playing fucking...
Okay, well, in 5 years.
Yeah.
That's still fair.
Yeah, in 5 years, that's still fair, because he's still just playing Mass Effect over and over again. In 5 years, when we're playing Divinity 3, we're like, bro, the fucking Divinity 3 is the shit. Also, that new Pathfinder game just came out, fucking Wrath of the Righteous 7, or whatever it's called. And he's going to be like, yeah, man, cool. And he's going to be like, on his 19th playthrough.
Right, did you know that Carla can do this? Yes, Oz.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Hey, I like what I like, okay? They're comfort games.
A comfort game that has 100-hour-long playthroughs.
Most of my comfort games are 100-hour long.
You don't understand how many times he's played Mass Effect.
Oh, I know.
And the thing about that is, like, this game really, and like with Mass Effect, when I first played through it forever ago, I don't think my brain was like as in tune with like I'm just checking a box on like a flow chart when I'm making these certain decisions, you know?
Yeah.
Because like with Mass Effect, you can very easily map it out. Like, did you save the Arachnid Queen? Okay, well then this is going to happen or this is going to happen. This game is not like that at all.
No.
So this is gonna be decades of me playing this same fucking game.
Yeah.
They're gonna come up with the remastered version, and you're still gonna be playing.
No, I'll buy the remastered version.
I really do think that it will be difficult. Well, actually, no, it's Larian. If they come out with a remastered version, they're probably just gonna give it to you.
That's true.
But yeah, because they put out a huge not a remaster necessarily, but like a 2.0 for Divinity 2. Like, where they added in all of that shit.
I do have it on PC.
Yeah, they added in
and
a whole
all for free.
They doubled the size of the third act and everything, and it was all for free. Yeah, so.
Still need to beat it.
I'll never forget that because that's when Kevin and I we were still roommates, and I'll never forget because we had beaten Divinity 2 for no shit probably the 5th time, and at that point the game had already been platinum. We just did that just for shits and giggles, and we were like, okay, well, I guess we're finally done. And then a couple of weeks later. We see that there's this huge patch that they put onto Divinity 2. It's like, hey, man, so you want to do this build this time? And, yeah, so.
Fucking A.
Yeah, ridiculous.
It's too good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great game. I might have to give it another playthrough, although I feel like any game, and I hate to use this term because it's outdated, but I feel like any CRPG is gonna pale in comparison now.
Yeah, this is...
It tastes like cat piss.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of... I think, at least for me, in terms of CRPGs, this, for me, is easily my favorite. And that's saying something because I really do enjoy my CRPGs. All varieties, whether it be, your Wasteland. I really enjoy the Wasteland series, or, obviously Divinity, but, that's still Larian, but...
Let's not forget Baldurs Gate 1 and 2.
Let's not forget Baldurs Gate 1 and 2, yeah.
Because Baldurs Gate 2, honestly, I can still enjoy the fuck out of that game right now. The Enhanced Edition, obviously.
Right.
But fucking incredible game. And in terms of the older games, I will say this, because I think you and I are on the... You play the old ones?
A little.
A little bit.
I was too young when I tried to really wrap my head around it properly, and I hadn't been as big of a D&D nerd to get it.
Yeah. Well, in this game, if you just play the first act, you're probably like, this is a great game, but I don't know what the fuck it's got to do with Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. But they, near the end of the second act, they're very clearly like, oh, here we are.
Yeah.
Kind of like at the beginning of Act 2, you get a little bit of oh, okay, hey, this is a cool little cameo we got going here, and then by the end of Act 2, you're like, oh shit, okay, well this really is the third game in the series. So yeah, they really make you think that it's not going to really be a direct sequel, but it absolutely is.
Right.
But I will say, Baldur's Gate 2, if you can get over fucking Thaco, it's still a great game.
I don't like Thaco.
Yeah, I don't think anybody likes Thaco.
My father does.
Ugh.
Wait, what the hell is it? What, you say taco?
Thaco.
Thaco. Oh,
what is it?
What does it mean pull
again?
Up the chair, buddy.
So do we really have to do this?
If we're gonna do it on any podcast, it's got to be this one.
When else is it gonna be brought up?
Yeah,
it shouldn't be.
You don't let me bring it up on your show.
No, I don't. For a reason.
Every time I even try saying it, he just fucking cuts my mic. So.
What does it stand for?
So
again?
Thaco stands for 2-hit AC 0. So the way that it used to work in anything before 3rd edition is you would have, rather than having you would have a stat basically, rather than your bonus roll or whatever, you would have what's called a Thaco. So it's 2-hit AC 0. So if your Thaco was let's just throw a number out there. For example, your Thaco is 10.
Yeah.
That's what you got to roll to hit somebody whose AC is 0.
Okay.
So if their AC is 5, then you would have to roll what?
Higher.
Nope. Nope, AC was negative. So if your AC was 5, you'd only have to roll a 5 if your Thaco was 10. Because if you got some more ball and armor, your AC would go down to -1, and then so if your Thaco was 10, you'd have to roll an 11 to hit them.
That look on your face right now is how my brain feels every time he brings it up.
Yeah.
Basically, at the top of everyone's character sheet in 1st edition, and I guess 2nd, but I never talked to anybody who actually played 2nd. You had a little slidey chart kind of thing. You just wrote up there. Oh, okay, well I've met one now.
Yeah.
That you just kept that on, so you didn't have to think about it too hard.
Yeah.
And my dad still says to this day the 1st edition is better, and I'm like, it's
not.
No.
No, first edition's out pretty awesome.
Maybe he should just clarify. Ask him better than what?
No, I've tried to talk to him about it. It does not work. He's like, he also wants to do 0 role playing.
Really?
Oh, well, yeah. That probably explains first.
That's actually old school mentality with a lot.
Yeah,
of
he just
D&D.
wants to
It's
dungeon delve and then dungeon delve.
Like there's a few people I've met. You know them too. They have a tendency to only want to do combat stuff, like basically a dungeon crawl, rather than.
And fortunately for those people, like in this day and age, like you can play Descent or Clank or any number of fucking things that are.
But D&D now is heavy roleplay. That is
and
the
I mean, if you have
majority of the game.
Legitimately, though, if you have a group that wants to just do that, have fun.
Right? Yeah.
Right, but there's things that will serve that better than buying the 5e rule books.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's a ton of that. There's whatever the fuck that guy was trying to tell us about at the con this weekend.
We were playing Clank, and what was the guy trying to tell us?
Yeah. So we were playing Clank in the hotel lobby.
Yeah.
Oh.
And obviously this brings over everyone because the hotel's full of nerds.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And then full of people who are like, what in the hell are those nerds doing? You know?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Nerds.
Of course. It's like, it's kind of like that, you know, when, you know, in suburban America where a dude starts working on his truck, and it's like immediately every dude in the area is like, oh, what's he working on?
It was exactly like that, yes.
I don't like that I have not quite done that, but my neighbor across the road, I've seen him working on it, and I go like a little...
Yep.
There was that one family, they were like, oh, they're playing like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, there is a dungeon and a dragon. So.
Yeah, it's true. Well,
You can't really argue with their thought.
Yeah, I was like, it's going to be real hard for me to disprove this right now.
it's like the people who came up and talked to us who clearly weren't nerds, they made it evident in like the first things they said. You know, like you said, like, oh, it's like Dungeons and Dragons, or someone just said, is that World of Warcraft? Or
somebody was way off. Yeah. I was like, we don't even have any of the things necessary for that. We don't even have any fucking Mountain Dew here. Like,
Nor is there a tower of pizza boxes.
Yeah. I actually preferred the non-nerds. I'm gonna be honest, because every now and then there'd be like an older nerd that would come up and try to tell us about like fucking Dwarf Fortress or some shit.
Oh yeah.
And we'd be like, all right, man, we're just trying to get our loot and get out of here without getting burned.
Oh man, back in the day, man, like the rule books for such and such was like, you know, you had to read 36 pages just to understand how to do one round, and then after that, you had to go back and read another 4 pages, and then I was like, dog, I'm trying to get wrecked and play some Clank.
yeah, we were very inebriated, like, and just trying to play some fucking Clank.
The closest thing that I think I've ever played that sounds like that was Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Yeah. When the guy started talking about the rule book shit, I was like, yeah, that's pretty Gloomhaven-esque. And I'll be honest, like, for those type of people you're talking about, where they just want a good like tactical combat encounter, Gloomhaven's a great.
Gloomhaven's great.
That's true. Yeah.
Go buy that shit. If you can get it back into the box that it came in.
Fully.
Yeah, you got to get it fully sealed all the way. Like, props to you. Post that shit on the internet somewhere, because we have yet to figure out how to do that. But back to Baldurs Gate.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're way off topic.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the side characters. We're gonna try not to get too spoilery here, so very basic things about these characters. Obviously, like Astarion is a vampire. Like, you find that shit out really early. Yes, that shit was in early access.
No, he's not just kinky, Dylan.
I thought he was just, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, he kinky though.
He's like, hey girl, let me bite that neck. It's like, okay.
Like, in what sense we talking?
Boy.
Well, like, my character's a girl. I'm just.
Yeah, I understand that.
And I'm assuming Hisako.
Their name's not Hisako.
You didn't name him Hisako, but it is a chick in the ear.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
which vagina did you pick?
What? I legitimately didn't hear you until my brain reprocessed that. Yeah. I'm still going to not answer, though.
That's fine. I'll just have to find out.
Real quiet.
Yeah, I got rid of my crickets button.
That would have been perfect. So, who do we want to start with? Because I got to say, these side characters are fucking incredible.
Yeah,
I like
honestly every single one of them.
So let's go with an easy one. We'll go Shadowheart.
Yeah, one of the first people you meet. Yeah,
I had a very different experience with Shadowheart than everyone else that I know.
Yeah, that you have. Yeah.
Because there's a place in the game where it becomes really evident that it's like, hey, you should probably take this person in there with you. And I was like, well, she ain't in the main crew, so I don't know what to tell you guys. And unlike other games, like, if this was like Final Fantasy or some shit, there'd be a point where, like, when I tried to walk in there, and she would come up and be like, hey, you really gotta take me. You gotta take me. And then it would just, without letting me choose, it would pop up the party selection screen, and the main character would be locked, and she would be locked, and I'd just get to pick the other. You know, that's how it would work in Final Fantasy. Whereas, like, in this game, they don't do any of that shit. It's just like, hey, you should probably go here. And, like, the game has given you the information to make the right decision. And I was just like, nah. And then I didn't do it. And apparently not taking her into this specific place is not the right move.
She says, fuck you.
Yeah, because the alternate options for what I could have gotten if I had taken her, from what I've heard from other people, are very, very good.
Yeah.
Whereas I got... You fucked up my life. I'm out, and she left. Like, yeah. So yeah, Shadowheart. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
You had a,
please come back to me.
the interesting thing is, I'm sure you'll find her again. It won't be under probably good circumstances.
Yeah,
I imagine.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna find her again too, and I'm not gonna like it.
I have a strong feeling that I'm gonna find Gale like that. But we'll get there. We'll get there when we talk to Gale.
Interesting.
I just want to point out, we'll come back to Shadowheart, but in our family game, they pushed Gale back into the fucking portal.
Really? That's amazing.
Don technically did. I think he failed his roll.
He failed his strength roll first, and like I was like, oh well, you know, cool. I'm a fucking bard. I could probably do the thing. And then I was like, no, and then just.
On top of that, the same family game, you have shivved fucking Astarion.
You voted for that.
I did, and I was so happy about it.
Because
Like in the camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you got to where he tries to feed on you or whatever.
Yeah, I let him.
Yeah, so during that I let him too.
I was
but
tempted,
I staked him.
But
yeah, and the only reason I staked him is because like the option pops up. And Kay's like, no, don't stake him. And then immediately I just see both of them have voted for the stake him. And I was just like...
Me and Don both did, yeah.
And it's so crazy, like, how... Like, it draws it way out. He's like, ow!
Yeah.
Ow, ow, ow. And he just
Like, he's straight up like Pee Wee Herman from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah. Yeah. He draws it way out, yeah.
I admittedly, I saved Scum, and I did that too, because I was like, I don't know if I want this mode.
Just want to...
And you're right. Like, he draws it out so much, I was like, oh, he's not going to die from this. Oh, never. Oh, there you go.
Oh, no, he just did.
And knowing what we know about his overall plot, like, so I'll keep this super vague. So have either of you gotten the what's on his back deciphered?
Yeah.
Yes.
So knowing what we know about that, I wonder how that plays out if you kill him.
That's a good question.
Because if any person...
Right, yeah. That's fair. I haven't got to the end result of that, but yeah.
So I will say this, like, is he really dead then? Because my first experience actually was with the character I created and then got rid of. It's basically Proto Crow, one of my D&D characters I created.
Okay.
I ended up getting rid of that game altogether because I got drawn up in my Bard playthrough. But anyways, I did kill Astarion in that, and then I ran into somebody who was looking for him, and not for good purposes.
Oh,
like for killy purposes.
Killy.
Yeah.
was he happy that you were like, oh, I already did that?
He was kind of indifferent, but he came across like he didn't believe me, and it was like, you don't mind if I go check it out?
As most people don't believe Crow.
Yeah.
That's a fair point, man.
And so like that's the last time I seen of that guy because I didn't continue that playthrough, so I don't know.
So a funny thing about that is one of the campaigns I'm playing, like I guess this person didn't really understand like the depth of like what this game will let you do, and we ran into that person and we had it starting with us. And they were like, oh, it's this guy right here. And they were like, so you don't mind if I take him? And they were like, no. They were like, this is going to be great. Let's see what happens. And they just fucking like tranked his ass and picked him up and walked off. And it takes him out of your party. And I was like, okay.
Speaking of that same shit, like along those lines, I'm playing with Jazz. Like I said, she's never played D&D or any type of computer PC RPG like this. We end up in the Goblin Camp well before we probably should have been. I'm just following her, letting her do her thing.
No. Gotta learn.
And we get to that point where we're about to, like, they're torturing a dude on a rack. I think most of you have seen that.
Nope.
You haven't been to the Goblin Camp.
Nope.
This isn't a huge spoiler.
No, I'm fine with spoilers. Whatever.
Well, yeah, but this isn't even a huge one. Like, it's just over there on the side. They're torturing a goblin, and like she goes and does the thing, and then we proceed to kill those goblins in the middle of everywhere.
In the middle. Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
I was like, oh fuck, we're about to die. But luckily, we were able to kill both of them and the two that were outside before they alerted anybody. So we were like, yeah, so your actions have a lot of consequences here. We gotta be careful.
You being the good boyfriend should just be like, and then just casually hit that F5 button before she does anything.
Believe me, I was.
Yeah, in the family game, there's a lot of that.
The F5, yeah.
Go ahead and press that F5 key for me.
F5, yeah, right now.
Is it bad that even as like as a significant other, I wouldn't do that?
You've been like, fuck it, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh no, they're gonna learn.
Oh, don't you worry, that's what I do too.
But you're having to relearn right along with them. Like,
I'm just having a great time.
Actually, mine goes from, hey, you should do this thing, and then I over strategize that shit, and it's, hey, let me do my own thing, and then I shut up, and then something terrible happens. Like, why didn't you tell me not to?
And you're just like,
and I'm like,
You told me.
what do you want from me?
I let that happen at the very start, and then it stuck at whatever they set it to for the rest of our playthrough together. I just stay in that groove. I'm like, oh no, but you didn't want that.
Yeah, you didn't want that.
So another thing with that is like my first like solo playthrough, like my main one. I've actually I don't save scum.
Yeah.
Like I have done it like twice, but like for the most part, I haven't done it at all. Like I lost Gale.
Oh,
I didn't.
Isn't he your favorite?
He's one of my favorites. Yeah.
His storyline is incredible.
It's wild, yeah. From what I've seen of it.
Yeah.
I've ended up doing it, I think, 3 times. And yeah, it's interesting because like each time that it happens is like I really want to know what would happen if I just stayed down that path,
right?
You know? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've tried to really not do that. Like I've done zero of I just want to see what happens. Mm-hmm. Like I always make the choice I want to make. I've only saved scum a couple times. One of them was when I figured out that time passage really does happen. So like there are certain scenarios, and this will be good for anybody watching. There are certain scenarios in the game where if you long rest, it can fuck you.
Yeah, if you long rest too many times, it's just gone.
So, well, no. So there's that too, but like there's anytime you're in a scenario where there may be a time component to it, I would not recommend long resting. So this is in Act 1, so I can go into it here, but there's a part where you get to the Grim Forge, and there's a section that's collapsed, and there's some people that are stuck in there, and they're like, oh, we got to get them out of here. Can you like blast this open or whatever? And there's a couple different ways you can resolve it. Well, if you go in long rest, when you come back there, everyone's gone. Like they've cleared the rubble, and like there's no one fucking there at all, including the guy you're looking for.
Is that Act 1 or 2?
That's in Act 1.
Act 1, yeah.
It's in the Underdark.
It's at the very end of Act 1.
That is still Act 1. Yeah, I forgot all that.
I'm curious if you long rest too many times before you even find that quest, if it'll be there.
It will. So,
Okay.
So it's only if you're in something that's like long rested. It's not that there's some clock in the background of the game just running.
No, I did hear there are some of those though.
There may be for sure, because I mean obviously like Oz found some shit that we have never seen.
Yeah, I mean, because like
I'm gonna have to ask you about that after this.
Of course.
Yeah, and like just to keep that vague, like you were telling me earlier about what you did, man. It was like, they just came up and I just got a message from someone else in the city telling me that so and so had transpired, and I was like, I was just walking around and say, I didn't even do anything that would have triggered it. I think it was just the fact that
you didn't go do the thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And there's also multiple characters that you either can't get on certain playthroughs. This is Act 1, so I won't consider it a spoiler, but you can get Minthara, who is one of the absolutes.
You haven't been to the Goblin Camp yet, you don't know
Yeah,
who he
one
is.
of the absolutes generals. If you decide to side with the goblins and go back to the Druid Grove and kill everybody, then she joins your team.
Oh shit.
So her and Halson you can't get, together. So you can only get one or the other, or neither,
I was about to say, or neither.
or neither.
So I will say this: I'm really dreading once I finish my good playthrough, because I am gonna go back and play the evil playthrough. I'm gonna do Dark Scourge. I'm gonna do it all. Like, I get so attached to these characters. Like with Mass Effect, there's only reason one time I've played Renegade completely.
Well, we already murdered your girlfriend in our playthrough. So
I was so sad. Oh my god.
he was a sad boy.
Who's that?
Because so
Karlach.
So in our playthrough, so you get a really cool robe for Will, and Don wanted to steal it. So in our playthrough, we went to the fake ass paladins.
Yep.
And Act 1. So fuck it. We went to those fake ass paladins. We accepted their quest. We went and murdered the shit out of Karlach.
No. They made me murder the shit out of Karlach.
I love that.
We all have the colors on. We do everything as a team. We murdered the dog shit
I
out of
was
Karlach.
so sad.
I'm just sad I didn't get to see it.
We brutally and horrendously murdered Karlach, and then we went back to the paladins, turned the quest in, got the sword, and then used it to kill them.
We did do that. Like the whole time over here, like, for Karlach.
But I gotta tell you, like, if you go to Karlach and recruit her, and bring her back to those paladins. Did you run into the paladins?
No.
Okay, so you want to bring her with you.
Oh yeah, it's such a good
That's
scene.
great.
Yeah,
It's
so
an
good.
amazing fucking scene.
I mean, she's gonna be probably one of my main party members because I need
she's
that
my
tank.
party.
Yeah, she is fucking amazing.
She is one of the best characters. I mean, like, she's not in the early access.
She is, but you can't use her.
Right. Her, Minthara, and Halson, Jaheira, and we've already. It's been heavily revealed that Minsk is in the game.
Yeah.
None of them were in the early access as companions. Am I missing anybody?
There's a good number of companions.
Yeah, there are a lot. There may be some that I don't even know about yet.
Yeah.
I did look it up because I was like, all right, I know there's got to be like a barbarian or somebody in here. So
Yeah.
I looked up just like the name, the surface level, and there was a good chunk of them.
It's weird that you get two druids and they're both fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I had a party member.
God, what is her name?
Jaheira.
Jaheira.
Yeah.
So Jaheira is in the other games. She's in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So
is Minx.
I would never use Halson over her. I just wouldn't.
I am curious on something though. The druids hate me.
Yeah, you're a drow.
Yeah,
You're a drow.
I'm
And a
curious.
necromancer.
They don't know that part yet. I'm very curious if that would affect, like me trying to get anybody as a companion.
Nah, if you save the Grove, Halson will probably join.
Yeah, it is really.
I just meant I didn't mean
on
like
your-
that because you probably are able to, but like
And
the
he'll fuck you,
dialogue
too.
sections.
Halson's very horny. He's probably
yeah.
the horniest character.
Okay, so let's kind of pivot into that because like all the characters to an extent, I think some of this has been patched down, thank goodness, but a lot of the characters were just like overly excitable.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, how you doing? My name's Tab. Yeah, hey, I'm Gail. You want to fuck? Hey, bro, chill.
We just talked.
Look, you
God
got a
damn.
hole up in your brain. I might be messing with some shit.
Housen's the same way. Hey, Housen, you enjoyed that party last night? I did, yes. Now I'm ready to lay with you. Hey, bro, come on, man. I just asked you how the party was.
I want to say one of my favorite lines from like Karlach is like, "I want to ride you to the hells and back," and I'm like, "Yes, ma'am."
I had some very romantic space sex with Gale, where Dr. Manhattan split himself into like 10 Gales and
What the fuck?
kind of gangbanged my druid spectrally in space.
That's bonkers.
Well, I fucked the devil, and then I fucked one in the video game too.
What does she think about your sheets?
Obviously, she loved them.
There's a thing on this has become a trend on Twitch now where people are speed running Baldur's Gate 3 to see like who can have sex with a character first. Like what's the minimum amount of time that you can do it?
I'm still very curious who I'm gonna have my character like romantically involved with because no one's really like caught my eye like that.
Yeah. Well, I know usually the way like it's honestly once the Grove situation happens, whichever side you're on, that is usually where it really kicks up. Like,
yeah.
Lazelle, I fucked her too.
Lazelle is fortunately alive in my game. Which is weird because she never survived really in any of my early access.
Because he killed her as soon as he could.
I was a big fan of her original entry, and then I just yeeted her off the ship. Usually,
she is a constant in my party.
I really like her.
Yeah,
but I always hated her before.
Oh yeah.
So
we killed her in our family game. Though.
We
needed the armor.
When I played my first playthrough on the early access, way when it first dropped. I had her in the thing, and she kind of irritated me a little bit. And this time around, and this is one of the weird instances that apparently have only happened for me because I haven't bumped, like no one else has had this happen. She wasn't even in the cage yet when I rolled up. She was like fighting the tieflings when you first find her.
Oh shit! Yeah, I think you remember you telling me about that. Yeah, that's right.
I still murdered her.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah.
Wow,
but. Knowing what I know about her now and like kind of how her arc evolves, it's really great. One of the best in the game.
It is.
I could believe it.
Originally I was like, okay, they just put the Githyanki in this game because the Mind Flayers are in it and because their lore is intertwined, and that is very true. But like the link, like the degree to which it is entwined, and how it all like comes together in this game, really a fan of that.
Yeah.
Like, during my Dark Scourge playthrough, I'm definitely going to be... She's going to be, like, my main tank.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I am definitely going to play a playthrough after this one where I'm evil.
Yeah.
For me, it may be another 2 playthroughs before I go, like, full evil. Like, there's just that many options.
Yeah,
possibilities.
I probably wouldn't have, but because some people who keep pointing out that my character is so much like my evil campaign character. It's just like I keep seeing it kind of now. And I'm like, oh well, I could do this, but I've already started her on like an okay path, so I can't really just have her just turn evil out of nowhere.
Sure, you can.
You can.
Oh, you can.
I could, but
maybe you just play it up as like you know you've been masquerading as good this whole time.
And she hasn't even really been that good, but
I mean, it's crazy because in this game, and I'm not trying to shit on Mass Effect here, but like there ain't no bar that moves along. So
no, like it's just reputation.
Yeah, you could straight up do some fuck shit where you play the first 2 acts as like fucking Luke Skywalker, and then in the 3rd act you're just like, I'm going to the dark side. Like this shit's done gone too far, you know.
Yeah.
My druid, honestly, you know, I started off playing this game as if I was going to play a light side playthrough because KOTOR and those type of games, Neverwinter Nights have kind of Mass Effect have kind of conditioned us to like, oh my, I got to move the little meter all the way to the blue side.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas that doesn't exist in this game. And so about halfway through Act 1 and like kind of the way everything works with the druids, I started getting into my head like, okay, well, I'm playing as this character. Well, they're a druid, right? So first and foremost, they want what's natural. Like they want to protect nature. So if that involves fucking murdering 700 goblins or whatever to like return that area to nature.
So you become Korger. Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, no. I tried to let them live, but you know, but hey, spike growth just kind of popped up in their camp.
Oh.
And
that's wild.
They ran through it. I just stood there and kind of watched. You know, so
that's crazy how that just happened.
That is crazy. It's wild, man. So you don't fuck with nature. But I started playing in that, and I have done a mostly like good playthrough, but it's very much been a situation where I'm playing it with that in mind first. Like, what would this character want?
Yeah,
and not necessarily like what's the fucking babyface goody two shoes thing to do.
Well, like. I made Karandin that way in our actual D&D game, so I play him very much like that. And I'm just over here like, damn, there's a lot of hard decisions, but I'm a good guy. Boom.
And like I guess for me, it comes down to like that kind of that borderline trait that can definitely be toxic with the wrong players. That this is what my character would do type of thing.
Yeah.
And so there is some of that here, and it's very smart of Valerian to remove the good or bad meter. You know what I mean? So you're not making your decisions based off of where the bar goes. You're making your decision based off of
situations.
Yeah. And I mean, because like I honestly never really thought about like the alignment that my character would have.
Well, and see, like I've said this even on my podcast as well as you guys is like I don't play with alignments in my D&D games because there is not a single person out there who is actually all good or all evil.
Right.
You get put into a situation, you kidnap my kids, you best fucking believe I'm about to go medieval on your ass. Just saying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's not, yeah, like, that's it. So, like, that's why, like, I love that Larian did this. Like, makes it so there's no alignment. You just play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have to agree with that. Like, and I would say, too, one of the things that I really enjoy about this game is if you want to go that purely babyface, goody two-shoes route, Larian is going to challenge you
the whole way
and go, how bad do you really fucking want that? Because if you were to really play the situation out like that without being like, I'm going to keep my morals in check while I deal with the apocalypse, it would not be easy. And Larian is not out to make it easy for you. They are straight up like, you want to be a fucking hero? What are you willing to what are you willing to give up? And
could be teammates, could be allies, could be
I think I've been skating on thin ice with Astarion for a long time.
I'm not gonna let him do the thing. So
I'm probably not gonna let him do it either. But
my persuasion
use
is
him.
real high.
See, I don't even know about the stuff on his back.
Yeah.
So
that's why we're being Vegas fuck here.
No, I just meant like to make it out there for even them because like that camera's at least see my face here and there, but I've just been like you were talking about stuff in the back and I was like, no, I don't remember forgetting that.
Yeah, right. I don't remember forgetting that.
Honestly, I don't think you really learn about that until Act 2.
Yeah. Gale's story is great. Like
I wish I knew what it was because he left.
So many of the characters seem primed for. Yeah, it's like, dog, I don't know how you can have a good ending, but best luck to you. Help me stop this.
It's almost like every single NPC is like, dog, we're gonna die. Like,
but here's the thing, that just leans more into D&D.
It does. It really
because
does.
how many characters really, unless you're doing it on purpose, are made as a player or even an NPC that's just like, oh yeah, no, I have like a great home life. I'm just out here having fun.
Right. Yeah.
You gotta have that tragic backstory that comes back to haunt you. Yeah, of course.
I mean, I sat down at the beginning of you guys' campaign and I came up with all these fucking NPCs. At least 2 of them are dead. One of them probably. Like,
For sure. What do you mean? There's no probably. That person's dead.
No.
DED dead.
Only I know if they're alive or not, and I'm not sharing.
That's why I got Vesh on it. It's all right.
Yeah.
Let me
That's the person.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
I got Vesh on it.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
I can't wait to see your character become morally gray.
Right? Yeah.
Don't, like...
I'm not going to do it. This isn't the right character for it, but I'm going to enjoy it.
You know, I think the cool thing about, like, this game, too, is the NPCs would really be like that, right? Like, so it's like, yes, we have this world-ending thing, but all these characters, you don't get the sense from any of them that they were like, I'm standing here on the street corner just waiting for a protagonist.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's never happened. You, much like your own character, you encounter these people in the middle of some real important shit. It's like how, you don't get a fender bender on your way to work. You get it on your way to go to the amusement park or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a mundane day thing. It's this is a great excursion.
Yeah, it's that.
Son of a...
Yeah, it's the worst possible time. It's like all these people are on these very personal, very important quests, and then the apocalypse just happens to happen.
And those are like some of the best fucking stories, man.
Oh, for
sure.
sure.
With the last campaign that we've all finished at level 20, that's the way I had it going. I was like, my cult is going to be working while you are fucking around. Sorry, that's just happening.
That like month or two we took off though for the ship, still worth it.
Oh yeah. Sky Admiral,
like
baby. That's what
to
I'm
me,
talking about.
those are like the best stories because like you don't these characters, while yes they are heavily involved in what's going on, they are not thinking about the apocalypse all the fucking time. They're there's people here that need help.
Yeah,
maybe I should help them, or maybe these people just need killing. Whatever.
It happens.
I'm very curious about the ending of the game. Obviously, no spoilers. I couldn't spoil it even if I wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm also very curious about it because, like, before I'm very early on still, but even when I played the early access, you only go so far. So I don't know anything on Act 2, anything on Act 3. I just know the little bits you guys are like freaking out over here and there, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be wild.
Well, and you know, Act 1, I would say the early access is so different from the what we got in the real game. I mean, obviously, like most of the Druid Grove is the same, but a lot of the things outside of the Druid Grove are not the same, and like the Underdark is completely different. Really,
well, I actually never went to the Underdark in early access.
Oh, okay.
I also
early access.
It's been years since I played the early access, so I don't remember most
Other
of it
than
anyway.
when we played.
Yeah,
So,
and I remembered up to that point.
well, in the early access, you could beat the dude on the fucking ship. If you're on balance today, so you're the only way to get the sword now, which I'm honestly kind of glad they changed this because
That sword is broken.
that sword is so busted.
So
like,
sad.
I got the sword in my game because I played it on like the first day, and I gave it to Carlock, and she had it until well into Act 2.
It's so valuable in that first act.
It is.
Yeah, towards the end of Act 2 was the first time I found a piece of gear that I went, maybe I'll replace it. And then it was only, well, if I come across things that are immune to fire, I'll equip this other thing.
But then the gear just starts to snowball.
Yeah, after
you
that,
get so much shit.
Yeah.
After that, it's like, here's a halberd. It does these 17 things.
Oh yeah,
It has
fucking
reach.
I got a dope ass halberd from Cap Carlac. Oh my god.
Oh, so it's like playing in an Oz's campaign,
Yeah.
which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying
No,
that.
I'm very generous. I'm very much aware of that.
Do you have the one where like you get the opportunity attacks if they come at you?
No, I don't have that one yet.
You mean the feet?
No. I have a halberd that has that on it.
Oh.
So it's like you provoke if they come at you or if they leave. And it has reach. So somebody just go walking by you and you're like, eek.
Yeah. Damn. So
Yeah.
No, I think the one I
have
have gives haste, actually.
Oh, no.
Has the ability to cast haste.
Everybody but my druid has haste on them in my game, so yeah.
On a unrelated side note, it took me forever actually, I still don't really know. It took me forever to realize what the hell was going on. I thought my game was kind of wigging out with some of the character models for a second, like when I wouldn't be fully paying attention, and then it hit me like, what? Is Carlac dancing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? This is not the time for dance.
I actually saw a video the other day. I can't remember where I saw
she
it.
just randomly dances.
Like they actually took a fun it's some hip hop song. And they just they would slow her down or pick her up, and she just.
So like, what kind of dancing is she doing?
Like it's just little jigs.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when she's just standing around. It's fucking amazing.
It is.
Carlac is like she is 100% my favorite, followed closely by Gale. However, she's amazing.
I do think I'm going to like her a lot as a character. I do not think that our personality types, because I always put a little bit of myself into my characters.
Sure.
Do not think my personality type is going to connect with her well on
She's
a.
so cute.
She's great.
People can be adorable all
She
they
is
want
great.
and attractive and all that, but that does not mean that I'm going to be able to get emotionally attached to them like that in that specific manner.
Yeah. It's hard. I think Gale's my favorite.
Gale is amazing.
I
just wish I wouldn't have lost him.
The Elminster
He's starting to rub me a little the
tie-in,
wrong way, though.
When Elminster showed up, I lost my shit. Because he is super legendary as far as the D&D lore in general. Faerun in general, like Sword Coast, whatever. Like,
Do you know Gale's backstory at all?
I knew a little bit from the early access.
I don't remember what all was shown that.
Elminster's not really involved in his backstory. You just come across him,
Okay.
and he exposits. But
I only know a little bit.
Yeah, his backstory is very cool. That tie-in really popped me. There's a lot with him, and I've gone very far down into his personal quest line. Really like Carl. I don't really know that there's an NPC I don't like, other than maybe Hausen, and even then, I still like him. But like where I'm at right now is like trying to compare it to like the Mass Effect companions, which I love. I don't think there's anybody that I would put on a Garrus Vicarian level.
Oh, that's top tier.
Because Garrus is the best fucking sidekick of all time. And
he is straight up bro code all the way.
You're never... It's going to be so hard to touch Garrus.
Yeah.
But I think all of these characters are... like, all of the companions are up there. Like, none of them are on his level, but all of them are on a level with, like, probably most other great Mass Effect, like...
And that's a high bar.
And that is a super high bar because it was the bar. Like, like Garrus can't be man. He is the exception.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like these damn game developers. This can't be the standard.
Man, like Tali or Liara, it's like, oh my god, like so many of those party members. I mean, hell, the whole crutch in Mass Effect 2 really is, I got to make sure everyone makes it, you know?
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I have only ever once not let everybody live.
I have let everyone die just to see what would happen.
Yeah, same.
It is great.
Yeah, on my Renegade, I tried to get as many people to die as possible in the suicide mission.
That looks like it hurt your soul.
It did. Like I said, I get very attached.
Joker takes over the Normandy. It's great.
No!
So this means that if I do play it, I'm going to have to play in a method that hurts Oz the most.
Yeah.
Go to hell.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think you can kill Liara, so yeah, I'll be fine.
That's true, because, she's not technically,
I'll mod it.
But
Liara's just playing Desmond anyway.
that's true.
So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
She's like Kasumi and Liara formed into one.
Yeah, they fused.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you know, back to like the ending. So like they boasted how many endings?
Like 17,000?
17,000.
What? See, I didn't look into that.
No, I just like I think I saw it in a quick article.
But I believe it.
No, is this like a real 17,000 or like a star-filled 17,000?
No, I think this is there's that many tiny variations on.
Yeah,
what
I'm sure, but like from one end of the spectrum to the other, there's a massive difference.
Yeah,
but like there are little variations of the same ones here and there.
Well, and
Which I still count.
Yeah, they still count.
They do count, and they talk about how many cutscenes there are in the game, and like, and how it's like longer than like all of Game of Thrones twice. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, and I believe it because we found out at the con over the weekend about an amazing scene that you can do, where it's like, what the fuck, you really can do that? But of course you can. So like, and then there's a cutscene that I've seen that you've also seen. Because we saved the night song. But
yes.
So did I. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you got to see that all as well.
Yeah.
See,
So
the only two people I know that have actually seen that cutscene, and it was fucking amazing. And it's so crazy to me that like, there's people that's going to play through this game 5-6 times and never see that. You know.
Wow.
So
It's true.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Because there's just so many ways that that can go.
Also, if you are not a persuasive motherfucker, you're not going to see that cutscene.
Well, no, not entirely.
No, entirely. Like, did you not see the? Well, one of them is 30. One of the.
We'll have to talk later. 'Cause I'm trying to remember what cutscene specifically you're talking about.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk
after
take that
this.
off, Mike.
Yeah,
for sure. What else do we want to get into before we give our little like closing thoughts here?
So have we talked much about? I mean, we started off, I guess, comparing the combat to D&D, but I guess in terms of a game, what you guys think?
Honestly, like I really enjoy. I didn't think I was going to because of how obviously I've played JRPGs. Like that's most of what I played, and then of course I played more the Western style, which is more sandbox, and most of the time it's first person.
Yeah.
So seeing this, I didn't think I was going to like it at first, but then once I got the hang of it, it was just like, it's perfect. It's fucking D&D. Especially if you're in a situation where you kind of have to look over down the top of the battlefield, hit that the O button, so you can actually get the tactical view, and I'm just like, this is fucking D&D. Like, this is it. Like, I was very pleased with it.
DM can be a real dick sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, this DM is
Yes.
a dig hole.
Excuse me, he prefers the term narrator.
So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
It's
Well,
true.
She is the DM, though.
She is the DM, yeah.
Before I got rid of all my social media, though, like I did find a TikTok of like some of her outtakes. The person who does the narrator, and it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, I bet that's great.
I wish I had that clip from the weekend where they asked Paul Bettany about his parenting advice.
Oh, that was, yeah.
And I can't do Paul Bettany's voice. No one can. But he just took a second, and it kind of like he was broken because you could kind of hear like the grenades going off and like see the helicopters fly over, and he's just like, just don't let them become feral fuckers. Like, and I was just like,
It was great, yeah.
okay, all right, well,
Yeah, parenting advice from Paul Bettany.
yeah, there you
I mean,
have
it's not
it.
wrong.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's pretty decent advice.
but the narrator outtakes for this were amazing.
Yeah, I sent him to him as soon as I heard him.
There's so many voice actors and like little like cameos and shit in this game.
Oh, fuck it.
I mean, hell, Minx is voiced by fucking Matt Mercer himself. So.
God, I can't
Oh, I
remember.
forgot about that.
Simmons. God, I cannot fucking remember his name right now. My brain is not. The guy who plays the general in Act 2.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, yeah.
He did phenomenal.
Oh, God. Like, and when he started talking, I was like, is that...
Yeah,
Yeah.
Son of a bitch!
it's like his second best voice acting role ever.
Right?
Also, you just
not-
verbally did the keyboard thing a little too close.
J.K. Simmons knocked it all the part. Like literally, before it clicked with me who it was, I was just listening and admiring like his voice acting thing.
Right,
Like, man,
yeah.
that is phenomenal. And then I was just listening, and then it hit me. Oh, that's J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
Invincible's over here on the shelf behind me. You should definitely check that out on
course.
Amazon. Not a sponsor.
Season 2 will be out sometime in the future.
Sometime, but
Time, eventually.
season 2 will be out sometime before, sometime after Starfield and before Star Citizen.
I mean, like, they have to convince, Vox Machina to chill out making so many, dope-ass shows so they can actually make, Invincible.
That's true. Yeah, J.K. Simmons fucking kills that role though.
Yeah, he does.
Good God.
Yeah.
And Walton Goggins.
Oh yeah.
But back to Baldur's Gate, the combat. As someone who's played 100 CRPGs, maybe, if there are 100, I've played 100 for sure. This is, I would say, they didn't invent it, but they perfected it. The combat, the way that it runs, is very good. It's not the best action economy I've ever seen, but that has a lot to do with the fact that they were.
It's D&D.
It's D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas it's very clear that Larian, if they weren't adapting this, they would have preferred to use like an AP system like they did in Divinity,
yeah.
where you have a pool of action points and certain things cost certain amounts.
Yeah.
Which is also fine. So while in this when if you've played like Wrath of the Righteous or any of the other like kind of modern CRPGs, you definitely can be like that's all I get when it comes to the action economy. But if you're used to playing 5e, then it's pretty easy to get used to because
Oh yeah, and like that, I think that's why I got so hooked to it. It was because like it is D&D,
Yeah.
100%, and like it does hurt my soul going back and from being a level 10 character to a level 3 character, and I'm over here like, where's my extra attack? Where's come on now?
Yeah. Level 5 is such a huge power jump.
It is.
in
It
this
is.
game. Like, if you come across somebody that's level 5 and you're not level 5, don't fight them because
No, they will wreck your face.
level 4 to 5, it's like your power doubles immediately.
Because my guys are level 4 right now.
Yeah, you come across
wait
somebody
till
level
that
5,
level 5 hits. Ooh, buddy.
They gonna,
Wait a minute. You're level 5, almost level 5, and you have not been to the Goblin Camp?
I'm doing what I want.
I think I was level 5 when I hit the Goblin Camp. Though.
Oh, really? Oh, like,
Yeah,
I was
I've
level
been
5
able
until the Underdark.
I hit level 5 when I came across the dragon with the Githyanki guys.
Oh yeah.
And like I convinced him that I wasn't worth his time, and he and the dragon left. And then he was like, "Deal with them," and I killed his underlings. And that's what popped me level 5. I remember.
Yeah, I had Lazelle with me, so she was like, "Hey, it's cool, dog. They with me."
Which I feel like that happens a lot. There's a lot of dead Githyanki in my game that I feel like didn't have to be.
Right.
Yeah, right.
We're not going to talk about the Emperor, but damn it, man.
I called it. I did.
What a cool character.
I
called that?
I called it.
How far ahead?
It was after the second time you actually have a conversation with your guardian. I called it.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
I was like, this bitch.
He's gonna call it probably because pretty much every Cosmere thing that he comes across, he'll get it before me, and I'm just like, you motherfucker. There's been a couple times though where I just like let him believe he's found out some shit.
It just made too much sense.
Even whenever I think those kind of things, it's never 100%. There's always a part of me behind that's just like, but you could be wrong.
I guess it was just because of how prominent the Guardian was.
Yeah, well, sure, yeah, of course.
That it made me question so much.
I was questioning motives, but I didn't really know what to make of.
I'm actually gonna say I'm probably not gonna catch it.
You think?
I don't know what it is about like the medium of me playing this game. I feel real dumb when I play it. I just keep messing up here and there, and I'm just like,
honestly, even I think playing early access. Yeah, the early stuff, sure. Like I've definitely know all about that, but like anything past early access, I've felt so fucking dumb.
Everybody's Act 2 went so different. Like I tiptoed my ass around in Act 2 because like I just I played Divinity and like a lot of games like this, and I'm like, man, I feel like I got to do everything just perfect to make sure that all the little things, like all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, and I still fucking lost a fucking companion. But I'm the only person I know who has fixed Act 2.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just kind of like looking at the fucking burning trash heap in the background.
Glad I could help.
Yeah.
We did it.
I'm really glad I could save this place. All right, well, on to Act 3 for me. It's like
It's pretty rough. Yeah.
It's like in season 2 of Heroes when was it Peter? Leaves his girlfriend in that alternate timeline and they erase it. It's like that.
It's just like that.
I forgot about that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he did too.
My God. It's so bad. With 2 of the deals that you're given the option from, I sat there and I was like, I mean, maybe. And then I was like, no, that's stupid. No.
Oh shit. Yeah. Also, the music in this game, I think, is
I like it.
Oh, bro, I've actually went on Spotify and already added a bunch of them to my DM playlists because, of course, I had to.
There was one song in particular. I won't get into it because it is in a little bit of spoilers, but there's a potential fight in Act 3. I mean, again, you could completely miss this fight. You don't have to do it. I did, and I did it. And the fight is incredible and is very much engaging. But the music that's playing, the person that you're fighting is singing the song.
What?
And it was one of the best video game scores or songs that I had ever heard. And yeah, it was amazing. Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Not only is all the Bard music good, which we'll talk about depth in a minute because I think we got to hammer on that because it's like the most important thing about a video game to me. But all of the score is really good. All the Bard music is good. That first scene, if you help, is it Alfira? Is that her name?
Oh,
in the Druid Grove,
Alfira.
Alfira,
Althea, I think.
Either way, she's fantastic, and it goes into that fucking cutscene when she does the song, and you're just like, you just thought this was some bullshit NPC,
Right. Yeah. Like it's like I don't know if you've done it or not because
is it the person up on the hill?
Yeah.
Oh, well, she has like a whole arc in my game.
I'm actually really glad about that because like I went up there and talked to them. And then they're like, we were done for a little bit, and I like came back and I was like, hey, you did more of that song yet? No, okay. I hope you don't just stay here forever. I'll see you later.
If they do DLC, I swear to God, they have to make her a companion.
I was sad that I couldn't try and get her.
Right, like Dom was saying the same thing. It was like I want her, like because like he was playing, I think he was manning a warlock, but he wanted a bard in his party.
Yeah,
and like you don't get one.
You don't get one.
I was
You
about
don't
to
get a bard.
Is there one?
Yeah.
There's no bard companion, and there's no monk companion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I
Well,
think
there's not a paladin either, right?
no,
There's no paladin either. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to change somebody into one.
Yes, there is. If you go evil.
Oh,
Minthara
right.
is a
Minthara's an oathbreaker.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, but there's 2 druids, but there's no monk and there's no.
Well, I guess they thought maybe like you can respec them if you want to.
Yeah, you
Completely
can
change
respec
whoever the fuck you want.
But I did question the 2 druids part.
Well, so I get why. So what I'm assuming happened is that they already had Housen built in when they were like, we're going to put Jaheira in the game.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah,
And you can't change Jaheira. You can't.
because she is a legendary character from the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you're thinking it's more of like a grandfathering in kind of thing.
Yeah, probably. But Housen, though, I think Housen is a moon druid also. Because he has special forms that are specific to him.
Oh, that's sick.
And then Jaheira has some shit that's very specific to her as well.
I've actually never used Housen or Jaheira. Like I used Jaheira in the final fight you can versus Homeboy, but that's it.
Yeah, she's great. I would never pick her over him. Like if I was going to put a druid in my party. So
you wouldn't pick her over him?
no, I mean I would always pick her over him. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just because she's great.
Right.
So, and you have to have her to get Minsk.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and Minsk is a ranger. So
Yeah.
I have a hard time, honestly, like narrowing down who I want in my party.
it's very hard.
It is, and like it doesn't matter. Like, and again, like like we said, you can always just respect them to fit your needs or whatever. But
I don't want to.
I like for my first playthrough at least, I'm not gonna fuck with what they already got built. Like Karlach
changed their subclasses.
Karlach is definitely my wild bear druid, not druid, but wild bear barbarian.
Yeah. Magic barbarian.
Oh, see, I made her a vengeance paladin, and it's so great.
Like honestly, I'm regretting not doing that, especially the ability she gets later. But at the same time, she's still dope as fuck as a barbarian, especially with her like getting overly heated.
Well, and also you lose the soul coin effectiveness.
True, yeah, like soul coins. Even though I've never used a single one.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
God! Well, you should do that.
I plan to. I just keep forgetting I got them.
Yeah.
But
She can absorb them.
Ah.
It makes her like mega rage until
Yeah.
you long rest. Basically, it's like fucking like hellish meth for her.
Right.
like that
Man.
cocaine.
Like that
Yeah,
cocaine,
like the cocaine. Yeah.
Crocaine.
It's just spicy.
Noted.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah.
But I put 10 levels in Berserker Barbarian and 2 levels in Fighter. Oh,
Oh God. Yeah.
yeah.
So
She reckon.
I might multi-class her.
thing I want to talk about this game, like for me, the most important thing in any video game is always depth.
Yeah.
Fallout 4, I don't want to hate on it right now. Bethesda has enough problems
you sure?
at the moment.
I'm pretty sure you
But-
like doing that.
But the city building or whatever. Okay, here's these things I can put up in my town. All right, this is gonna go somewhere though, right? Like I'm gonna lead these people out of poverty or whatever. There's gonna be some awesome quest line where they start like building their own cities. They're inspired by my greatness.
No, but there's a settlement that needs your help.
Right. Yeah, and that's all there fucking is. And
Damn
like,
it, Preston.
that kind of thing in a game, like when I hit that wall, it takes me out of it. And that's, I think, one of the reasons that game feels so soulless for me.
I can see why you think that. Like honestly, up until like my last playthrough of that game, like I didn't really fuck with the building thing.
See, I think because there was something. Because I didn't hate it. I didn't hate.
No, I didn't hate Fallout.
But until you
I
said
didn't
that,
hate it either.
I don't think it ever clicked right for me. And I think that might be a big thing I have for that.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a big issue I have.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either.
Yeah.
I'm not attached to it like I was with 3.
With Bethesda games in general, like I never looked for that in those games because, and honestly, like for me, at best their stories are just okay. Like I don't play a Bethesda game,
which is actually a fair point. Like even in Skyrim, while there is some really cool shit that you can do, and some of the storylines are pretty good, there's none that are like anywhere close to what Baldurs Gate 3 has given us.
Or even before that, look at Witcher 3 or Mass
Right,
Effect. Like,
exactly.
It doesn't have that.
Witcher 3 was not before that.
I'm aware, but I'm just
Okay.
saying, like.
Well, in Skyrim's defense, so in 2011, right, there was no game that would let you sandbox. I'm this ultra mega hero on that level.
That's fair.
Okay.
Mass Effect was definitely a better story and had better companions and all that shit. But Skyrim, and I think only Mass Effect 1 was out, right? Or maybe 1 and 2?
1 and 2. 2 came out in 10.
And then 3 came out in 2012?
2012.
So we had Mass Effect 1 and 2 with these amazing stories, whatever. Skyrim came out, man. Oh my god, I can cast a different spell in each hand. Like it was that we're gonna open. You know, Bethesda's famous for the that initial where you open the door and you load the whole world in for the first time. Like Skyrim gave us that like fucking freedom that we had never had in a game.
Right.
And it wasn't like Morrowind where it was really sandboxy. Like Morrowind. That world was fucking empty as shit because like the original Xbox could only render like 5 NPCs like that could also talk, and back then that was like what the fuck you trying to do, dog? Like you trying to run this shit on like a nuclear reactor? Like so you know, but in that game you could make your own spells straight up, so you could be like, I want a fireball with a 300-meter range, and when it hits, I want it to have a 200-meter explosion radius, and you could fucking nuke a whole town, like if you could get enough mana to cast said spell, and so like you know in that game it was really like way fucking out with like what you could do. Skyrim was a lot more controlled than that, but they managed to weave a pretty good narrative in there with it and a reason to do it. And as Volo says in this game, every story is better with a dragon.
Fuck yes.
I mean, you're right.
Oh, like, and the fucked up part is, it took me way longer than I'd like to admit to realize that is Volo from D&D lore. Volo's Guide to Monsters.
No, I'm looking at you because, like, really?
Yeah,
he
like,
said, like, 2 words to me, and I was like, oh, you're you.
Yeah, I did, like, and then Caleb, and I was like, is that the Volo? He's like, yeah, motherfucker. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I've had one talk with him, and halfway through that talk, I was like, oh, shit, you're this.
Yeah.
And that was why I knew that they weren't going to let me recruit him. Because at first I was like,
it's fucking Volo.
I was like, oh, that's going to be the bard character. And I was like, but it's actually Volo. There's no way they're going to let him do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hope I bump into him a few more times, just because.
No, it's up to you.
It really is up to you.
Yeah.
But I will give you a little piece of advice. If he comes to you and tells you that he can get the mind flayer tadpole out of your head, let him do what he's going to do all the way through. You won't regret
100%.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I was about to be mad at
Did we
Caleb.
all do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was
do
about
that
to be
every
mad
time
at Caleb.
Yeah.
So mad. But then immediately it was okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, that situation was like, fuck it. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Honestly, out of all the people, because I've only really bumped into like 3 or 4 people that have been like, hey, I can totally get that out for you. It's to the point where, first off, I'm like, all right, too many of these people are promising this for this to not be that easy. I don't trust any of you motherfuckers. But out of all of
Case
them...
in point, Act 3, we still got him.
Yeah. But I feel like...
You still got yours?
I have extras.
I got an extra in a jar.
Oh, no.
It's still in the jar?
It's still in the jar.
I have a
I haven't been to the goblins.
I have a bunch.
Huh.
I have some on reserve.
But out of all the people, I feel like just off a base vibe check from them, I would probably trust him more.
But
that's just no the interactions I had with him. He seems the least. I've had one talk.
Okay.
Well, you gotta think that one chick in the Druid Grove was going to murder you.
That's true.
And then she's like,
Yeah. She's like, hey, promise to do this. I was like, sure, yeah.
Well, no, she said promise to do this, and I said no. And then a fight broke out.
Oh fuck!
See, I said
Yeah.
Fought
sure.
her?
Yeah,
Did you kill her?
yeah. You don't have a
Asshole.
choice.
You're an asshole.
I was honest.
You could run.
I respect your choice.
Thank you.
And that's one of the things. I mean, like you try to compare this to like Skyrim now, and it'd be like you trying to fucking interact and role play in fucking Pac-Man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's true.
It's not a thing. But like for its time, I think Skyrim was a great what it
I
is.
definitely
A
agree.
fucking
Oh,
fantasy
yeah.
simulator.
I think
I
the
mean, I
only
still play it
reason-
to this day, so yes.
I think the only reason that it's like getting compared to is that they've re-released it 12,000 times.
right. Yeah, you can get it
it's-
for like your refrigerator or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the point I was making was that like it's about what I was looking for, right? So like the reason why Skyrim was so immersive for me, it had nothing to do with the story or even like my main character in terms of personality or it had to do everything with like how I can build whatever kind of character I want to build from
That's
head
fair.
to toe and,
Yeah.
and the places I could go and because ultimately you don't really have a huge effect on Skyrim. You know what I mean? Like whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. But like for what that game does, it does tremendously well.
Right. Well, I think with Fallout 4, I think it is a little more that than 3 was. Like 3 was very much a wasteland narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas 4, they kind of tried to. They were like, well, all right, the narrative we're going to give you is shit. So we're going to tack all this stuff onto the side of it to make you feel like maybe it isn't, and it all feels tacked on.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to feel like, from what disclaimer, I've not played Starfield, but from everything I'm hearing about Starfield, it seems like they kind of fuse those together. Like it sounds like the main narrative is pretty gosh darn good, but then they were like, well, we are going to put some shipbuilding in the game. And it's like, okay, so what's my reasoning for building a ship? Because I want to build a ship.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, who doesn't want to build a ship?
but I want to build a ship, but like, I want to start off with a crappy ship, and then I want to do a thing, and then upgrade that ship, and then I want to do another thing, and then eventually I want to get to a point where I'm like, I got this badass ship, and then I want to find out that I don't, and then I want to build an even more badass ship. But it feels like all I'm going to do is get to build the badass ship, and there's not going to be
Instead of making the ship his own character like it should be.
yeah.
Because like as every sci-fi movie, TV show, and or video game has proven, ships have personalities.
Oh yeah.
Give it to them.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
again,
the Normandy still has a place
I
in my
was
heart,
gonna
my
say,
guy.
yeah, beginning of Mass Effect 2, the Normandy gets obliterated. And that shit hurt.
It hurts so bad.
I was like, Shepard, okay, but I know he'll be fine.
I mean, I'll play as
How
one
about my
character.
ship though?
Right.
Where's my ship, bitch?
Yeah.
I think if we go back to the first campaign, like rehearsal thing again, like the reconnecting thing again, I think Shade might make an AI.
Oh,
No,
jeez.
no, no.
No.
The DM has
All right,
spoken.
fine. I'll have to take somebody and put him in a thing, and then I mean,
You already did that.
Yeah, you've done
yeah, that means I've already got the basic steps done.
Whatever happened? I don't want to snowball this. We'll talk about this off mic.
I do also question that. Whatever did anyway.
Yeah.
I think though that when it's all said and done, and when we all beat the game, and when Dylan beats it in 2027,
that's pretty early.
he can beat the game, credits roll, and then he can go see Spider-Verse 2.
By that
have seen
point,
that
Spider-Verse 4.
No,
yeah.
I mean the second half.
Oh yeah.
and then you still have time to watch Stranger Things the last season.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like it'll be like if we were to just sit down when we all beat the game and just one sentence, tell me what happened. It will sound
way
like we all
different.
played 4 different
Yeah.
games.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be hard to actually do 2 of the same playthroughs in this game. Like if that's what your objective was, like it would be difficult.
I think I'd still fuck up
Yeah.
because you still have the dice roll system.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
That's true. Yeah, because
I
the
don't
dice
think-
roll will can fuck a whole conversation. up.
Right.
Yeah, and unless you save scum, like I think if you did like same character going through doing the same things, you're gonna end up with 2 slightly different answers.
The biggest save scum that I did is right at the very beginning of Act 2. There's a super important character. And if you fuck up and let them get killed, they actually patched the game after this to make her harder to kill.
Oh shit!
But when I played through it, it was before they put this patch out. And if she goes down to 0 HP in the fight, the bad guys and that's not up for discussion.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Kidnap her. And she was fulfilling a very important role. And in my game, like that's the only time I really saved scummed, like for anything major, is I did not know that was the objective, was to keep her alive. She seemed like a very powerful cleric, and I was like, okay, well, she's fine. I'm going to kill these guys. And then, no. So, like, I saw what happened immediately after that, and I rolled it back. But now, I really want to know how that plays out. Yeah.
The only real, like, reset thing I've done, because there's, like, one or two things that I, like, almost kind of tried, but it ended up coming out, like, the same, or I kind of backtracked on backtracking, was the mirror talk. And this wasn't even so much a save scum as I saw the option. I knew the option was not the right answer, but I was like, I want to know what happens.
I mean, of course, like there's always that morbid curiosity.
The answer is you die.
I was going to say, so how did the fireball taste?
Yeah, how that fireball taste?
Spicy.
See, I think I missed this first mirror because
He's never even been to the Necromancer layer.
How?
Oh, dude,
that's what.
Oh shit! You
I
don't
can
know
see
that?
how you would miss that though.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I almost did.
Like I stumbled upon it during early access one time, but I played it like 3 or 4 times before that, and I didn't see it. So like I 100% get why you miss it.
The only reason I noticed it is because a person showed up and was like, "Don't worry about this thing." Yeah. And I was like, well, now I want to know about it. What's this?
So the way I found out about it is I read everything. And so if there's a note in there, and if you read it, the character will actually be like, hey, this note says there's a cellar. And then it points it out afterwards. For you. Yeah. And so that's how I knew about it. But
so the only things I read are the ones that are highlighted in orange. So that way, like, because I know there's request items. So that's, yeah.
No, I'm not saying I actually read it. I just right-click, read, close the thing.
Yeah.
That gives it to you.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, I don't actually fucking read it.
You mean Skyrim read, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Get that ability point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not over here trying to, like, hear the story in Dark Souls and shit.
The bad thing is I want to do that, but I just don't have the mental fortitude to, like, whenever I have the time to play, I don't have the extra time to sit there and read all the books and actually read them.
Well, yeah, so you just right-click, read.
Yeah, I do that, yeah. But I want to read them.
Because that gives you the recipes and all that shit.
I was talking to someone, I think it might have been our friend Shrek, but, you know, he and I were talking, he made mention about, in the spare time, like maybe play for like an hour or so. And I was like, with most games, an hour is a good time to decompress and play. But there's nothing you can do with Baldurs Gate in an hour.
If I don't have like 3 hours,
I played 30 minutes today and I didn't feel like I did shit.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, if I don't have like 3 hours, I don't fire it up.
Yeah.
I've been because of this actually partly. I had done like 2 or 3 sessions of like 30 to an hour, and each time I was like, I took 3 steps. I
haven't done shit.
I forget what we had to do the next day, but there was something important that had to be done the next day. And I fucking played Baldur's Gate until like 4 a.m. or something. And like, it was awful. Like, I have not done that with a video game in forever. Like, such a long time.
Was I there for the next day part?
I think you were.
Because I remember you being like, yeah, I messed up. I was like, oh no, what happened? What happened? He's like, I played Baldur's Gate way too late. I was like, oh,
I think
you got me scared.
the next day.
It was D&D the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn. So your D&D kept you up for your D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it very vividly now. And like I remember going home that night and going, I'm gonna go home and go to bed. I fucking went home and I fucking started playing Baldur's Gate. And I played that shit until like 2 a.m. again.
See, here's the more fucked up part. Like we all know that I get very obsessed with certain things, and D&D is one of them. Now I have a video game that gives me D&D.
Yeah.
So I'm fucked. Like I'm just done.
The thing is though, man, you had that before. You just wouldn't play them.
I know.
But now I feel like it's going to be hard to ever get you to play those games because none of them.
I played the second one up until I got past the prison.
Divinity will still be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because it's different enough.
Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous will still be good, but that might be the line.
Yeah.
Like, and those and Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous will only have the advantage of number 1 being Pathfinder, and so the whole system's different, and 2 having like an additional thing like Kingmaker has the kingdom management stuff that you don't get.
Oh, that's cool.
So. Yeah, so but yeah, I mean, as far as like other CRPGs or other RPGs in general, I mean,
it's probably be a very long time before I play anything else.
Oh yeah, we all thought that like Starfield was about to pull us away from this shit,
but
and then I was like, let me just take a look at the. Oh, all right. Well, I guess I'm gonna finish Baldur's Gate then.
I'll play some Starfield later.
That's the call. I mean,
Wait,
It's not a good time. I think I'm gonna give it a year.
That's probably. I mean, because like the best reviews that I've seen on Starfield have said it's not Bethesda's best game, but it's a very good game. And I'm like, that's not good enough.
Yeah,
now.
I'm like,
that's not gonna pull me away from Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
I want to know two things. I want to know what they think the best Bethesda game is.
That's a fair point. That's a fair
important.
point.
I'm curious on that.
That's important. It can only have one number in it if it's got a number in it. It definitely can't have two. Yeah, I don't know. I need to know. I need to know these things.
That's true.
If they think it's like Daggerfall or something, you know.
Jeez. Which one was Daggerfall? Was that 2?
That's Elder Scrolls 2.
Yeah. See.
I can't remember the name of the first one. Fuck. No, it's not. It's not there. It's not in the memory banks.
Right.
Yeah. Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim.
Oddly enough, the first Fallouts were CRPGs.
Yes.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
And I never played them. I
Yep.
want to get around to it. But.
Fallout 1 and 2 play exactly like this, and then, well, not exactly.
Same.
They played 1990s this,
Yeah.
and then for 3 they decided that a first-person shooter RPG was kind of the way to go, which I love Fallout 3.
Yeah.
I also like it.
But I have heard the combat in Starfield described as Fallout 4 without VATS, and I'm like, that's awful.
Like you can
I didn't
easily
use VATS.
use the VAT system in a futuristic setting. Like,
I'm sorry. What?
I don't often use VATS.
Anyway, you were saying Oz. I'm sorry.
Anyway, it would be a very easy.
I made both of them
step
turn. Are you going to turn too? You gonna leave
believable
me alone over here?
to
I would
actually
not-
be able to use the VAT system in a futuristic setting like Starfield because
Oh, did you see that book over there, Dylan? You check that out. It's a good one.
like you have futuristic shit it makes more sense than Fallout.
I will say I do use VATS. I just don't a lot.
See, I was telling him last night, if my options are I can shoot someone in the face or I can shoot him in the face in slow motion, I'm almost always going to pick the second one because it's just so cool.
It's the most baller
is
thing
true.
you can do to your shot.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have not. I really hate to shit on a game I haven't played.
Right.
And so, I have Game Pass, so it's not going to cost me anything. I already pre-installed it. I already wasted the bandwidth. I'll probably fire it up and see if it's as bad as I'm hearing. But, Bethesda is running out of fucking excuses here. And honestly, not to get too far off a tangent, but fucking Xbox is running out of excuses here. And I'm a Microsoft guy. But
Didn't they also take a really long time on this game?
yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I think
I
like
haven't
10
followed
years,
it really.
but-
I think it took them longer to make Starfield than it took them to make Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, they have no excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll see.
I'm gonna have to ask my friends because I have 2, I think, friends that are playing through it.
Yeah.
So I'll have to be like, hey, what's your honest? What are your gripes? What are your not gripes?
I was gonna, as soon as I got back from Dragon Con, I was gonna buy the premium edition
Play it early?
upgrade so I could play it early. And then we were sitting in line for something at the con. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna go home and play Baldur's Gate 3, which I would rather anyway.
Yeah, I think Starfield for the rest of us. I think it drops on the 5th or the 6th, or tomorrow or the day after. And I was gonna play it when it dropped, but I may just wait till however long it takes me to at least complete my first playthrough on Baldur's Gate before I check it out.
And maybe also a second playthrough.
And maybe it's
I'm gonna wait for my first. So in 5 to 17 years, I'll play it.
yeah. They have the 5th remaster of it out.
Yeah, and I can play it then when it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Because if you think Bethesda is going to patch their game in nearly the same way that Larian has been doing.
Oh my God, Larian on point.
No, they're just gonna wait for the fans to do it.
Yeah, there were bugs they didn't fix until the anniversary edition of Skyrim 10 years later.
And they still have some in there.
Yeah.
It was
Like a
amazing
lot.
to me. Not to me, this about Starfield, but it was amazing how they had like the same kind of. I guess because it is just a newer version of the same engine, but like the same bounce bug. Well, not a bug feature, if you want to call it that. You know, how, like in Skyrim, the trolls would hit you, and then you slam down to the earth and shoot into the stratosphere.
Ragdoll?
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
It's funny, but
It's
like
funny,
that shouldn't
though.
be that much of a thing.
it really shouldn't. Like, I remember the first time that ever happened to me. I was like,
It was pretty early on in my playthrough.
well, I'm
My
fucked.
first
Like,
playthrough.
yeah, I was dead.
Yeah, sometimes it's like the physics engine can like divide by 0 or whatever, and you just get fucked. And like, I don't know, like I do think that modders will fix Starfield no matter what. You know,
But they shouldn't
will.
have to.
But they should not have to.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, there's not really a whole lot to do with the ship right now. There's not really even a reason for you to have a ship in the game. Well, modders are probably going to fix that shit. But
Is there a funniest non-spoilery moment that you guys have had so far in Baldur's Gate?
Yes. One
go first, Oz.
the barn scene.
Oh,
Yeah. So
That's the scene, actually, that I said I bumped into. One of which was like, oh, yeah, that one. The other one was like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's right there.
So spoilers on this one. It has nothing to do with the story.
It's
but
Act 1.
It's Act
Yeah.
1. You're going through the blighted village. You come across a barn. You hear some humping going on
And some grunting.
and some grunting, and you open the door to see a bugbear get it on doggy style with an ogre. And it's just one of those scenes you were just not expecting.
No.
And it's like, huh.
I did have warning for mine. So I was like, oh,
really?
shit, it's this. It's this scene.
See, I ran across that shit in early access, and I was just like, they actually give you more dialogue options in the early access instead of the actual game.
Yeah.
yeah. I just wanted to like back away and close the door.
No, fuck no.
That door's been
You're
opened.
You can't unring that bell.
I wish I could.
You know, they need to have some decorum. Put a sock on the door. Or something.
Yeah,
Right?
I will say, when I first bumped into it, I like had backed out of the thing, and then I was like, no, I won't do it. I won't do it. I took like 5 steps backwards and was like, no, open the door.
So, you know, it'd be funny though if they actually put like a bugbear equivalent to the sock on the door, but no one else knows what the fuck that means.
They might have.
That would have been fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Why are these 3 twigs sitting on this
Right.
door? What happened?
What does that mean?
that was hilariously traumatizing. Yeah,
It was, and just to think about the
just
creation that would cause.
or
I don't know if there would be one.
I don't think so either. But you know, half ogres exist.
You hope.
I hope. However, now the female being the larger one does make it, if it's possible, not like issue involving as far as just a birth.
I wonder, like, was she gonna eat him after they got done?
Probably.
Well, no, actually, if you go further into that, you find out she was actually in love with him.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, like because you can like deep dive into her mind and shit.
Yeah, I hadn't.
I
long
did not
rested.
want to go that far.
I never did, but I heard you can.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't be the reverse way because that's just murder.
Yeah,
You can't be an ogre fucking a bugbear.
yeah.
Even if it worked though, it'd be like whenever a small dog is the female, it very problematic.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, that was 100% my funniest, non-spoiler moment.
what you got, Ace?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of one. There's been,
There's so many.
yeah, man, I'm trying to think of like a one that is as non-spoilery as you can get.
I mean, I have one for our multiplayer game if you.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Because this doesn't involve anything in the story at all. So
The thing you've been dancing around for like this whole.
yeah. So you guys remember me talking about the weird frog familiar. So the reason I know there's a weird frog familiar is his Eldritch Knight or whatever summons the weird frog familiar. And
I usually do a crow. I was just changing it up, made him a frog.
It was a mistake.
And even Kay, who is like, oh, little cute creature, is like, that thing is gross and I don't like it. And I was like, oh, okay, so I pick it up and chunk it at the wall.
Yeah, he chunks my fucking frog against the wall.
And it fucking exploded. And so he starts chasing me. And of course, Don is with us, so he cast Jump and Feather Fall on both of us. So now we're like leaping across Act 1, and I'm trying to get away from him, and I'm running, and he finally catches up to me. So I like turn around, I cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on him. He fails the save and falls down the ground, just and then I just keep running.
It was just one of those moments, and shortly after that, like I guess I can lead into that moment. We go into the Blighted Village, and they happen to be getting ready to do a tactical way to win this fight with very minimum damage.
Oh, it was the Blighted Village this happened in?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you first walk in...
I didn't know if it was the
It was the pathway leading up to the Blighted Village.
When you first walk in and all those goblins are set up, we were like, I was going to get on the roof over here, and like we were going to have somebody over here, and then 2 people on the roof over here. And like... We're all like talking about where we're gonna go and like walking around. And
I walk up to a roof, the main roof where the main chick is.
Just shoves.
No, I didn't shove. I picked that bitch up and threw her.
Throws a goblin off the fucking roof. Combat starts immediately. It took me 3 turns to get to where I could smack anybody. A bunch of shit died. Kay had the little baby spiders with her. A bunch of them got burninated.
Yeah, she lost 2 of them. Yeah.
And all this plays out, and we're just like, "Fuck you, Oz." Why we
I'm over here dying, and like I actually killed the bitch that was I threw off the roof. Then I climbed up to the other side, and thunder waved the other 2 off.
Oh my god!
I'm just like, yeah, I'm a fighter. This is what I do.
As soon as we got back to camp, Don was like, "We saved, right?" And Kay's like, "Yeah." He turns around and just fire bolts Oz in the face.
That is fucking great.
Oh yeah, and see that's what I was talking about earlier. How like that multiplayer changes the way the game is. Like it's insane.
Yeah. Did that give you time?
Yeah. And this one I think I told you guys about before. I don't know if I told you this one though, Dylan. Yeah, this again it doesn't have anything pertaining to the main story, thank goodness. But I broke into this place I was not supposed to be in, which is typically most places that get broken into.
Yeah, that's true.
You a character that breaks into places? Right. That's so crazy.
And
Drazzle doesn't do any of that.
Well, Drazzle don't, but Desmond did.
And Crow kind of does.
Well,
that's his bed.
Crow doesn't see it that way, though.
Yeah.
Crow's like, I don't know why people put these fucking doors here. So annoying.
It's like a curtain.
But it was a shopkeep up front, a very nice, friendly person, and I saw there's a hatch over in the corner, so I waited till he had his back turned, snuck down in there, was able to pick the lock, go down, and just exploring. And I find that there is quite a bit of interesting treasure here. And I knew there was going to be interesting treasure because there were traps along the way. Mm-hmm. So there's got to be something here.
Of course, yeah.
It's usually a good indicator that there's juicy things.
Yes. And there was some juicy things in there. And so I'm able to get quite a few really, really cool items out of there. Some weapons and some other really cool shit. I'm like, yes. I'm able to successfully sneak out, continue my journey on. This is just another conquest on a road of many conquests. And I'm continuing on, and I'm prepping for a pretty big fight. I know it's going to be a fight because I know what I'm going to do with this certain person. He wants something or someone, this boss fight that's coming up, and I'm not going to give it to him. And so it does divulge into a fight, a pretty significant boss fight. And this one I had to have my plans worked out perfectly because, again, like, tough fight. And I'm doing really well. My everything's going according to plan. And I get the Shadow Heart, my healer, and I'm going, okay, just to keep things fresh, I'm going to go ahead and do a mass heal because, I don't want anyone to get too low because they can fucking crit me at any second now. Maybe that could be it. And as soon as I heal, four more enemies show up on the field. And these aren't just any enemies. These are very powerful, very strong enemies. And I'm like, what in the
Dark Justice years?
Actually, no.
Okay.
And
Worse.
yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't got there yet.
And I was like, what? So at first I'm thinking that this is something that the bad guy I'm fighting has summoned.
So
Just coincidence.
what arc did this happen in?
This is an Act 3.
Okay.
So you don't have to,
You got some time.
you got some time before
Act
you fuck up.
3 is
It's just trying to help
long.
me like
Yeah.
timeline it a little better.
Act 3 is like Act 1 and 2 combined, and it's actually a little bigger than that.
I kinda like that,
It's
though.
enormous.
Incredibly long, yeah.
Kind of reminds me of One Piece though.
It took me, and so like when that happens, like my gameplay was out the fucking window.
Yeah, like what,
Yeah.
what do you do then? Like you just gotta keep going.
Yeah, and so like I mean because my party was gonna, I saw the end from the beginning, I was gonna get wiped because these guys were not fucking around, and so I reload, and then before the fight I go back into camp, and I'm like, okay, all right, let me get my bearings straight. I'm gonna do this thing again, and I'm gonna be prepared. I'm gonna kill the guy before he can catch the minions, blah blah blah. But before I go, I'm already in camp. I'm gonna take a short rest, and then I'm gonna leave. Short rest. The motherfuckers show up again in my camp. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. And so come to find out, I was cursed when I took said items from.
That's
But were they worth it?
great.
No, it was not worth that hassle.
Is that what you were referring to? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. When you put it in our group chat?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Don't steal this thing
Yeah.
from here.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
I'm glad I heard the end of this because whenever you were talking about this whole thing, even though I knew it was a funny, like probably
Yeah.
bad situation, I was like, I need to find out what shop this is. I need to go over that corner.
Dylan, have you run into anything that was fucking hilarious?
So the funniest thing, because I've run into a few things that's funny, you know, the barn and like one or two other things. But
Oh,
like,
no one mentioned the windmill.
Oh, that's a
One
pretty
mill's
fun
fun.
season.
Didn't I hit the wrong fucking lever? I legitimately was trying to free it, and I hit the wrong lever, and he just.
I want to say you didn't realize there were two levers.
I
So
almost
I
did
always knew there were two.
Oh, okay.
But I clicked the wrong one.
I almost did that because I was like, oh, this one. And then I paused just long enough to read it, and I was like, not that one. So my funniest one is actually from when we played together in the early access.
Okay.
Because it just killed me. Whenever you, Ace, you grabbed the fucking goblin and just threw him off the cliff, and he, like, huge blood splatter, but he was still alive, so you're like, oh, he's alive? Just goes right after him.
It's just funny thinking about that from the POV of the goblin. How,
Because he was like up there like ready to ambush the other guys. He's like, yeah, what the hell?
And because of that moment, though, every time I set up to do that fight, I always go up to that hill and try to chunk a goblin off. Every time.
Yep, he did it in our game.
Because you were a dwarf.
a barbarian.
Barbarian.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just great that because like the fucking goblin has no idea what's happening. He hits the ground, kind of bounces, big blood splatter on the ground, and he's got to be thinking, oh, that fucking sucked. I don't know what happened, but at least I'm alive. And then when he's laying there, he just sees two dwarven feet.
You know,
You can't really write stuff like that. all the time. You gotta experience them.
the thing that was so funny about it too is like that was your first time playing the game.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm like, Ace, you can yeet shit. And I'm like, hey, I know we already looted that treasure chest, but you should pick the chest up and you're like, what? And I'm just like, nah, bro. Like, and so so the whole intro, I'm like trying to get him to fucking eat something, and this is finally the moment where he just picks up this.
He's like, you know what?
It's just like you should not.
Good
pass
time is it? Just shoot. And that actually was the inspiration for chunking the goblin off the top of that building.
So we have Ace to blame.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can
No, I
blame
still
me if
blame
you
Oz.
want to. I take full credit for it because it was funny. I was dying that whole time.
Well, guys, we've been at this for a while, so I think we should probably go around and score it based off of what we know now.
Let's do it.
I am gonna start with Oz.
Of course you are. I find very little wrong with this game. I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Okay.
Like, and that's just with the tiny bugs. Like, I want to give it a 10. Like, but, like, I don't think that's feasible, personally.
Gotcha.
Yeah. This is really tough because, I mean, my goodness, like, what do you do with a game like this, right? Yeah, long story short, for what I've experienced so far, I'm actually gonna give it that 10. And for me, a 10 doesn't mean that the game is perfect. I mean, if that were the metric, then there'd be no 10s.
That's the PC Gamer review score. They gave this game a 97. It's the highest they've ever given anything.
Oh, wow.
Ever.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, like with... Actually, on the Superhero Homies podcast, not with this is only the second 10 I've ever given anything. You know?
What was the first?
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Never even heard of it.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
I'll have to watch.
Yeah.
Damn, I think I'm probably right. I'm probably right there with you on that. That's a great fucking movie.
It's a great movie. But you know, with this game, are there little bugs? Sure. I guarantee you they won't be here next year or
That's
hell,
fair.
maybe not even.
Like these tiny ass inconveniences. Yeah, they'll fix that shit.
They already fixed over 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
I think what really pushed it over the edge for me is that I hit level 12 several in-game hours ago, and there's still a lot more to do. And my fear was that I'm gonna get bored because I don't really need any additional items or better gear. If I find something, sure, it'd be great, but I don't really need it. I can't get my characters any stronger. You know, they've hit the max level. What's keeping me from just bulldozing to the end game? And that sense of like exploration and curiosity and very good dialogue and the way they're able to rope so many things in together just really keeps me engaged. You know, imagine if you hit like the max level in damn near any game, you know what I mean? Like your enthusiasm is just normally gonna plummet, and you just want to see, okay, well, let's just get to the end and use these cool max powers or whatever. But with this game, I want to see what all I can explore before I know that I inevitably play it again. So,
well, I want to touch on that too because there's that there's like kind of that fear always too with games where it's like, am I going to hit max level 30 minutes before the credits roll on this thing?
Yeah.
Because that happens in so many games where it's like, okay, well, cool, I'm max level, and then it's like you really don't have a
chance
an opportunity to use it. Like, I mean, like Final Fantasy VII, for instance, like there's so much crazy shit you can go do at the end of that game, like Knights of the Round and all that.
Yeah.
But like by the time you've got to that point, there's only like 3 or 4 fights that you can really use that shit in.
And it was just like when we finished that last campaign, like, I don't want to give you level 20 right before just a big fight.
Yeah.
I wanted you guys to actually feel what it was like to be a fucking god.
There's a sweet spot, though, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like we were level 20 and then 6 months later we beat the campaign.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and also to this game's credit too, like you said, like I've never felt like the carrot was the level system.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, most of the times where I've leveled up in this game, unless it was like level 5 where I was like, for me to go further, I have to do this or I'm going to die. But that's probably the only time that I've ever been sitting there looking at the XP meter. Most of the time when I've leveled up in this game, it's been a complete surprise. Like, I've just done a thing, and then it's like, oh, shit, I got a level. Cool.
Yeah.
You know?
I find myself doing it in my other playthroughs, but my main playthrough, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the thing. It's like, that's not the carrot in this game. That's not... You're not sitting there giving me the little dopamine hit from... Okay, I got a power increase. I still like that. I always want that. I want the new item. I want the new XP, the new spell, whatever. But that's just, it's not the driving force for this game. So,
Yeah.
Dylan, what you got, man?
I was originally going to do a 9.5, but after you saying that, I do, because I was a mindset, 10 out of 10 is not feasible. It's perfect, but that's a bit of a flawed mindset in my opinion. So I am going to give it a 10. There were like 1 or 2 things that, like, tiny bug, and I don't know if I said this one in here, if we said it out there before the podcast, but like the only real bug I had was the spell from equipping and having to unequip, move it, and equip back the item. And the only thing that like isn't even a gripe, but I was a little sad about was that I can't get a score to 18.
At creation.
At creation, you mean?
Yeah, well, I couldn't even do it on like respec.
Yeah, but
You have to hit you have to get like ability score improvement. You know,
Yeah,
you can tell before you can do it, or you can get items that do it.
Yeah.
You can get up to 26, I think, is the... Do you have anything higher than 26?
No.
I think 26 is the upper limit in the game.
Because I didn't figure that 17 was like the hard cap.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, cool. I have these extra points that I don't have a spot to put it in.
Yeah.
But I can't really... That was the only like, oh, darn thing.
Yeah.
But that's also like...
Yeah.
When...
The human variant is that for me. Let me start with the fucking feet.
Okay, yeah, the human variant, I wish they would gave me that. But at the same time...
The 25% carrier weight is nice because it matters.
No, that's
does.
fair. Yeah, 25 is a lot.
But I would rather have a feet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was always going to give this game a 10. Decided probably weeks ago. Because my thing is like, if this game isn't a 10, you tell me what your 10 is.
That's a fair point.
And
You know what? That's a fair point. Like honestly, and like after hearing you guys speak, I'm probably just gonna bump it up to a 10.
we changed the score.
I'm cool with that.
We
Like,
did it.
Honestly, I wanted to give it a 10 to begin with, but I was
Yeah.
like,
You had the
seem
same
like-
mindset.
It was like, okay, is that something that you? But you, like you said, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
But
yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: it's like we do this a lot.
Yeah.
When you start looking at things from a critic mindset, you're welcome from him. When you start to look at things in that critic mindset, like you get away from that. Like a 10 is perfect because you realize that nothing is going to be perfect. But like, you know, even if you go break it down by categories, like, you know, and I was telling him over the weekend, like, I took my top 5 favorite games, and I'm like, okay, is this game better than Baldur's Gate 3? No. All right, what about this game? Is it better than Baldur's Gate 3? No. And, you know, and I'm kind of like, okay, is this the best video game ever made? Like, we could talk about that for hours. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But, like, there's just no way with all the effort involved in this, the polish that it came out with, the development, like the attention of the developers on it.
The fact that they've already patched a bunch of stuff
Yeah,
out.
I was literally about to, like the how rapidly they do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a laundry list of problems with fucking Starfield, and we will be lucky to see a patch before December.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even have fucking maps in the game. Like, get out of here. So, yeah, I mean, it's a 10 for me. The depth of the game, like, the amount that I'm... The fact that I'm, what I say, 180 hours or something earlier, 200 hours, that far into it, and I still feel like there's so much for me to see. They've just made an incredible, like, feat here, and I just don't think... I think the games industry should be ashamed that they were able to be stood up by this little... They're not a little company. This game has 400 developers.
No, but at the same time, like, this small company outclassed all of them.
Yeah, when you look at the resources that, like, Activision has, that they have, like, 15 dev teams and they all work on fucking Call of Duty. Right?
Honestly, sometimes it's too many hands in a pot, too many cooks.
Too many
that's
cooks.
Well, too many corporate cooks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Too many corporate cooks. It doesn't...
Doesn't flow, right?
There's gonna be you're gonna get another comment. There's gonna be somebody that's like, yeah, man, I looked that video up and it's great.
Oh shit! Apologies to anyone who's out there who has seen or will see that video because of anything that Caleb may or may not have said.
I showed that to you, right? The comment.
Look it up. You did not actually.
Yeah. So on the Blue Beetle podcast, I noted that the security team at the Cord
Industries.
Cord Industry. For what sort of reason I thought like Cord Tech, and I was like, that doesn't sound. So at Cord Industries, the security team dresses just like the space guys in where the Too Many Cooks goes into space.
Oh my god,
they're dressed exactly like the crew there. And so I was talking about that, and they were just like, "That's a fucking deep cut, dude." And I was just like, "Yeah, well, if anybody out there is listening and haven't seen that video, like, I was like, get intoxicated in whatever your favorite way is, and pull that video up." And then, like, somebody commented, they were like, yeah, really agree with you guys, Blue Beetle review, da-da-da-da. And they were like, by the way, looked up that Too Many Cooks thing, and that shit stressed me out.
He goes, I went home, smoked a bowl, watched the Too Many Cooks video, and that shit stressed me out.
So, like, I know that it's not this long. but I swear the timestamp on that is incorrect. That is a 45-minute video.
It is
I
not.
swear.
It is not.
Swear.
Oh my god.
It dilates time. It's 45 minutes of just this.
Oh my god. Well, what we're trying to say is do better, games industry.
Agreed.
We are. Laren has proved it can be done.
I'm sure they'll listen to this.
Yeah, you should be fucking ashamed.
It's crazy, right? Like, who would have thought that the way to make buku money is by putting out a pure and good product?
Are you sure about that?
Like
Right? Because
cocaine.
they sold, what, over 800,000 copies in the first week alone?
Well, they had 800,000 simultaneous players.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they had it was 800,000 simultaneous players on Steam at one time, and that was before the game launched on PlayStation. Mm-hmm. Right after it came out on PC, it shot to the #1 seller on PlayStation, and has been the #1 seller on PlayStation through that whole period of 30 days.
And again, that's pre-install. You know what I mean?
That's just people hearing about it and being like, oh, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
That's bonkers.
So, I mean, now, like, it came out on PlayStation, yesterday? Like, for early access?
Early access, yeah.
If you got the deluxe edition. So, like, you got, right now, you just got millions more players that are going to get added to the player base. And then we recently found out that the Xbox version is coming out.
End of the year?
Before the end of the year. They're actually thinking October, November. So
is it going to be on PS4 or
No,
the
I didn't think
PS4
so.
cannot run this game.
Yeah,
I didn't think so.
It is crazy though. Like, this is probably like the first. Like, obviously, this is the first PC game I've ever, played. Like, in any seriousness. However, I loved how they did this. Like, they gave you that early access of basically the whole first act, and you got to experience the game while they're developing the game.
Which in turn helped them develop the game.
Divinity, too, right?
Yeah, Divinity 2 was...
They did the same thing? Well, see, I just feel that the game designers of other companies should take the fucking page out of that book, because, like, that... Not only does that give the players something to do while the game is being developed, it also gives you the option to find all the bugs.
So, you're not a PC gamer. Well, I guess you are now, but... But for those of us who've been in the PC gaming for a while, the early access thing, this is like the gold standard. It doesn't always work out this way. Like Satisfactory, for example, that game is in early access and has been in early access for like 7 years.
I think it's just going to stay in early access.
It's just going to be there forever. And then at some point, the developers just get stressed out and they're just like, here's 1.0 and we're out. Or like Ark. That game was in early access for like 4 or 5 years, and like that shit is still busted. So I mean, the early access thing is an amazing, like, I think, way to make sure your game does not suck when it comes out. Because like I got a friend of mine who is just like against early access as a concept. He's like, oh yeah, I don't play early access games or whatever. I'm like, all right, well when like fucking Jedi Survivor comes out, you play in early access for that shit because that game was fucked when it released, like most of these big AAA games, everybody who's playing Starfield right now, they are playing the early access beta of Starfield because you are basically beta testing that shit for Bethesda right now.
Yeah, basically.
So that's how it be. But I think we should wrap this one up. I think we've done a good thing. How do we end these assembleds? Do we do it? Are we just kind of like fuck it, we're out? I think. Typically on these?
I think so.
I think we are. Yeah, this is Podcast Assembled. Go play Baldurs Gate 3. Whoop.
Yeah, we'll see y'all next time.
Yeah, this feels weird.
I'm also here.
This feels wrong.
I don't know.
We'll come up with the tagline for the next one.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Podcast Assembled.
Assemble.